Welcome to Sample Challenge. Sample Challenge. Behind the Boards. We just talking about the Sample Challenge. Behind the Boards, episode 17, right, Rocko? 17. 17. And we got Prince Markie Dee. I got my brother Arkidelik in the building, my brother Sparkz. He's, of course, my partner, Rockoleone. And Prince Markie Dee, the Fat Boys. And we are waiting for Cool Rock Ski to come in. This is going to be an official Fat Boys interview. You know what I mean? But Prince Markie Dee showing us too much gems, and I cannot not record this shit. You know what I mean? It's too much. You know what I mean? Some things like I should not have to say because, you know, it was too much detail where I don't know if it messed him. I mean, he don't probably give a fuck. He's fucking Prince Markie.
You probably addressed it on some other.
You're coming out with an album like I'm a fucking Fat Boys and shit. You know you don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? But speaking of the Fat Boys, let me get to the beginning, yo. What made you change the Disco 3 to the Fat Boys?
Well, the story that everybody got was that we were on our first European tour, and the hotels in Europe, when you book a room, they offer free continental breakfast. And for breakfast, we go down and eat. But if you don't want to eat the regular continental breakfast, you can order breakfast and buy it, like other things. You know what I'm saying? So the story was that we would go down, have breakfast, and when our manager would leave, we'd order $500 worth of food every day. And when we left the hotel, the manager saw the bill for like $10,000 and was like, "You fat boys." So that was the made up story. That was the made up story of how we got the name Fat Boys. The real story was we were called the Disco 3. We named ourselves the Disco 3 in honor of another group called the Disco 4 that we admired. We liked the Disco 4. And the reason why we called ourselves Disco 3 is because we never thought we would make it off of our block. You know what I mean? Like, we never thought, they're never going to hear about us. You know what I mean? We'll be the Disco 3. It's 3 of us. You know what I mean? We love them. And next thing you know, we won the contest. And one of the very first record that we put out was called Fat Boys. So when people would call to book us, they'd be like, "We want to book the Fat Boys." And our manager's idea was like, "Yo, that's kind of dope. Like, you know what I mean? Let's use that. Let's use that weight in the name and let's build something behind that." So we had this big name change party at Roseland Ballroom in New York. I just found out the other day that Funk Master Flex was there. I was talking to him. He's like, "Yo, you know I was at the name change party, right?" I'm like, "What?" I said, "It was like 38 years ago. Word?"
Wow.
He was like, "Yeah, I was there." I'm like, "That's crazy, man." But yeah, we had a big party. It was a smash. And then after that, we were officially known as the Fat Boys, and our careers took off.
You said 38, so you're talking about like 1982?
I'm not that good with math. It seems like you are. So it was, I'm going to give you the year, then you tell me how long ago it was. Well, we're celebrating today the 33rd year of, the 33rd anniversary of Crushin'.
And that's like, that's like the fourth or third or fourth album.
That's
right?
our fourth album, yeah.
Fourth album, okay.
So it was, we changed the name in, I want to say 85 or 86. I want to say 85, 86. I think it was late 85 though, so. 35 years,
I think it was before that because didn't the Fat Boys
was before that.
84?
Well, we won the contest in 83. We put a song, you might be right. It might have been late 84, yeah. Like I said, all that shit was a blur. They went from drugs, kids.
When your manager brought that to you, when your manager brought the name change to y'all, was y'all resistance or did y'all just go along with it? Y'all like
we're 14, 15, and 16-year-old kids. We think he knows everything, and we just know how to rap. You know what I'm saying? So we just going with the flow. You know, but we like the idea. I remember I don't remember too much detail about it, but I do remember liking it. Like, yeah, that's dope. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
Like, I am fat, so
yeah. Well, back then I was linebacker weight. I just got I was playing high school football. Like, my dream was to play football. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's looking at me and go, "You ain't fat." I remember purposely pushing my stomach out as far as it can go when we was taking pictures so I could appear fatter. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
You were actually the skinniest one of the three. Okay, like
yeah.
And I always, like I said, I always thought you were black. You were just light-skinned. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, like, no, he's Puerto Rican. I'm like, for real?
Yeah,
like,
Boricua.
Boricua.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's dope. When you guys did the first album, you know what I mean? Curtis Blow was a part of that?
Yeah, Curtis Blow produced the whole album.
That's dope. I mean, so they would just play the beats. I mean, when you used to do your shows, right? Did you actually have a DJ too with Buff?
No.
Because beat was playing in the back. What it was just playing it on a DAT or something?
Yeah, we had it on a DAT. We put it on a DAT and we come out, and then we'd have somebody with 2 or 3 DATs, and the first section of the show, he just let the DAT play. And then when that DAT goes off, that's time for the beatbox solo. We do stick 'em and all that. We don't need no music, no DAT playing. We do all that shit, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, like the next tape will come in and we do like 3 or 4 more songs, and that basically just did it like that, because Buff was such a figure. He was it was like watching Beethoven work, you know what I'm saying? And we couldn't have him all the way in the back behind some turntables. He needs to be up front with us. Like, people need to see him up close, Buff was, he was like 5'4", like 300 pounds when we first started, some shit like that, you know what I mean? So he was agile, like run fast, everything. Like, he was like, yo, he's like crazy, So we needed that excitement in the front,
Cool Rocks, he said that he was gonna be playing football and they wanted him to play, but he said, "Fuck that, I'm gonna do this music shit." That's what.
Yeah, that's what happened with me. I dropped. I remember my mother came to me one day, because I played football from Linvest, from little kids. You know what I mean? All my whole life. And my mother came to me one day and she's like, "So I talked to your manager Charlie, and he wants to take you on this European tour, but I can't make that decision. You got to make that decision yourself. Do you want to stay in school and play football, or do you want to go on this European tour and get a tutor? And your football career is over after this. Just know that." And I was like, "Yeah, let's give this rap thing a try."
You gonna go overseas? You went overseas as a teenager. That's crazy, man. Like,
Yeah.
Shit.
I remember being 15 years old and being in the red light district in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And there's this one block, and it's like fences like this, so you can't look down the fence, and only guys can walk in there. You're walking like that, and only men are allowed in that block. And we're like, our manager's taking it there. We're like little kids. We're like, what the fuck is this? Like, we look and there's windows. Like, when you go shopping at Macy's, you see outfits in the window. It's naked bitches in the windows, like opening their pussy and hey, come here, come fuck me, like wilding out. We like, oh shit. Like, so it's crazy.
You was literally a kid in a candy store.
Facts.
Yeah, because I went to Amsterdam years ago too, but they weren't doing that in the windows now. The ladies would just have their thing on. You know what I mean? Because I went the red light with the poles up with the red lights on them on each corner.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically, you and Buff met playing football together.
No, we met on the block.
Oh, okay.
Like Buff never played professional. He never played pad football. We just played on the street, like on our block, street football. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't remember. Maybe they asked him to play or something. It's possible. I just don't remember. We didn't go to the same high school. We like when I moved on Skank Avenue between New Lots and Hegeman, Cool Rock already lived there, right? So let's say I lived on this side of the street. Cool Rock lived on the same side of the street I did, about 4 houses down to my left. And then maybe a year or two later, across the street from me, 3 houses down, Buff moved in. And the first day we saw him, we asked him, "Yo, you want to play football with us?" And we was playing out there. He was trucking niggas, like just running everybody over. Like, it's crazy. We couldn't stop him, And after that, we became a best of friends. Like, the 3 of us, we just hang out everywhere.
Well, that's crazy. You guys, before you even did that contest to win that contest, were you doing other contests previous before that?
Nah. We went to the Tin Pineapple Dance and Rap contest hoping that another group in our neighborhood would win. These guys called the Bad Boys. I don't know if you remember them. They had a song, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, we were hoping they would win, and if they became successful, they would put us on. And at the very last minute, we was like, fuck it, let's join the contest. So we joined while we were there. You know what I'm saying? And needless to say, that train ride home was mighty uncomfortable. But they was like, motherfuckers. We was like, shit. At that point, they were like 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, you know what I mean? And we were 14, 13, you know what I mean? Like, we're little kids,
And they were pissed off. But you guys look at it like, we're going to rock this shit. Like, was a planned performance, or was it just?
Stick 'em. Stick 'em was a routine that we used to do all the time, you know what I mean? And then when we were in the studio one day, after we did Fat Boys, Kurt was like, "Yo, do a routine. What routine?" And we went in the booth and we did stick 'em, stick 'em. We used to do that shit in the corner all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Kowalski is saying that's how he said do a song with that, and you guys end up doing a song. That's dope.
Yeah.
So the In Jail joint, and in jail, What was the whole idea behind it in jail?
In jail was Curtis Blow's rendition of of Elvis's song, Jailhouse Rock. Everybody in the whole cell block and into Jailhouse Rock. It was the rap, Curtis Blow's rap version of that. That record was so big, like, you know what I mean? That he was like, in his head, he's like, I see this rap version of the song, and it's in jail without no bail. And he had this guy named Don Wilson who came in, and he's a piano player. And this motherfucker was so magical. Like, I was just sat there and watched him play. If you listen to that, after we stop rapping, he keeps playing. Yeah, and you hear him he goes into this salsa vibe, and he's just freaking the fuck out of the piano. And I was just like, how the fuck is he doing that? It blew my mind. But that was Kurt's idea to do that song. And when we did it first, we did it like on some street shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And our manager and Curtis had to remind us, like, nah, y'all the fat boys now. Like, we gotta make this funny. Let's make this funny. Let's teach a lesson. Let's do that. So we ended up changing them. If you listen to my last verse in that song, me and Cool Rock rhymes once, I rhymed twice. I rhymed twice because that last verse was really my first verse that they made me change. You know what I'm saying? But they just left it in the song at the end of the song. You know what I mean? Okay. So, yeah. You guys, that was a dope song.
Like 8-minute songs back then and shit.
Everybody, not just us. Everybody. Yeah, everybody.
So speaking of... No, go ahead. What'd you say?
Because everybody would have recorded an album and then they just jam out. You know what I mean? They play a song. Let the music keep playing after the song. The song be 8-9 minutes long. And then when you go to radio, you make a radio edit and you make it shorter. You know what I'm saying? But these days, niggas ain't trying to spend extra money to do radio edits. They just do the fucking record the way it's going to be played. You know what I mean? They just do a dirty and a clean and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yep. They just reverse the curse and shit.
Yeah.
Do some, But I just had an ill question when you were saying that, but I got back to what you were into. That's crazy. So Larry Smith, he said he played all the bass of everything you ever did?
Anything that's live, that you hear live bass on, Larry Smith played it.
So you guys never used no samples, and I mean, I know the Sex Machine. I mean, like, but before, like, the whole first album, no samples?
Not that I can remember. We weren't involved in the production of it. We were just told to go to the studio. We had a car pick us up, we went to the studio, and Curtis was like, you like this? Write around to it. And we just get to going, you know what I mean? But we didn't have no knowledge how to make records. I learned everything in the studio from watching Curtis blow. Like I was able to, after the Fat Boys, become successful as a producer because I can walk into a studio and know what I'm doing by watching Curtis blow do that shit. Like I would want to sit there next to him and just learn what everything was, what everything did. You know, and then I started, but I was always into music. Even before I started rapping, huge Stevie Wonder fan, gospel music, I was texting with John P. Key today, and I couldn't even believe it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like John P. Key, I'm like a groupie, you know what I mean? So, like, I was a big music fan, Hall & Oates, Michael Jackson, Prince. So I had a musical ear already. I just didn't know the technical aspect of studios. And Curtis Blow taught me all that, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it was really
a hell of a teacher.
It was him, but he had like different instrumentals in there, or was they already did the music when you got there?
Well, what happened was Curtis Blow was hired to produce the album. So Curtis has Larry Smith, Davey DMX at his disposal. So he just brought them in and brought them down and paid them as, as composers or whatever else they did, give them their, if they wrote something, give them their writing credit, their publishing or whatever. But it was just that Curtis was hired to be the producer, and he just executive produced it. He put, got everything in motion, did everything he had to do, and made sure everybody was on point. But I remember being up there and Larry Smith was playing bass, and he was like, "I don't like that," and he just stopped playing. So he really was a producer. You know what I'm saying? He really was producing joints. And but there's certain songs you can hear, like All You Can Eat. You can tell that's not a real bass. That's a keyboard bass. You know what I'm saying? But In Jail is a real bass. That's Larry Smith. Boom, 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 boom. I saw him play that. I was like, whoa, that shit is crazy right there. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He did a lot of shit with Houdini, correct?
Did all this shit.
He probably puts in on the Run DMC's first album and all that shit.
Yeah, all that. He played Oh
yeah.
on Rockbox.
That's
Yeah.
my joint.
Oh,
He
for
played the
real?
guitar on Rockbox. Yeah. Yep.
Man.
Rest in peace, Larry Smith, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Legend.
And you got to sit there and witness it, and that shit's crazy. Like, yo, need part of your legacy and shit. That's fucking dope, man. Like,
That's
so you saying
that.
David DMX was doing all the drums and all that shit on them joints?
He was doing drum programming, keyboards. He was doing everything. You know.
Oh,
You know, David DMX produced. What's that song he produced? Jesus Christ, it slipped my head. But it was a huge R&B song back in the days. I want to say
Orange Juice Jones.
before that. I mean, but after that. Before that. I mean, I want to say, tell him, do you still care? SOS Band? No, it wasn't SOS Band. It wasn't that. It was something in that era. Let me Google it. Hold on one second. Let me check real quick.
We got Google nowadays.
Right.
Facts.
Y'all heard, I mean, I gotta put this out there. I heard 50 try to diss you in his fucking what's it called shit when you said he played his music for you, and you were like, yeah, he's like this old school dude. You don't talk about like I know you see that shit. You're like this dude. What the fuck you talking about? Like, yo.
I was there when he did it to me. Yeah, he didn't really come off like that. He was more saying it to himself. You know what I'm saying? Because what happened was Corey calls me one day. He said, Mark, there's this dude named 50 in the hood over here by the barbershop. Come with me. I want you to hear him and let me know what you think of him. So I get in the car and we drive over there. And I'm in the passenger seat. We pull up and he's standing right there. He walks up to the car and like daps us up. And he's like, let me hear some shit. So he gives Corey a tape. We dump it in and he starts popping. And I'm like, this shit is crazy. And then Corey's phone rings and Corey picks up his phone and starts talking on the phone because it's Tommy Mottola calling. 50 doesn't understand that. He thinks that he's just talking on the phone while his shit is playing. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't me he was directing his thing at. It was more like, because I saw his face a little bit. He really didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? But we ended up being the best of friends anyway to this day. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing. Yeah.
So all three y'all from Brooklyn. Y'all was born in Brooklyn?
Yep.
Oh,
all three of us. Well, actually, Buff was born in South Carolina. Fayetteville.
And you guys knew each other.
Check it, Mark. I was combing through your Instagram, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was combing through your Instagram, and there was a clip of you saying that you kept 20 rhymes for an individual in case you had to battle him. Who was that individual?
Daddy-O. Well, not just for him, for everybody.
Oh, shit, Daddy-O.
Oh, wow.
No, what happened was Daddy-O was the hottest nigga in the hood. Like, Daddy-O, like, it was Daddy-O, and then it was, like, me after that, like, coming up. So I used to always go to a block party hoping he would be there so I could take his head off. I had, like, 20 rhymes just for him. I had 20 rhymes for, like, 7, 8 other niggas that I could borrow from and just switch a couple of words. So even if he sounded a little better or did whatever better, I'm going to rhyme to you. You ain't got no rhymes no more. Then you don't give up. You know what I'm saying? So
he had him locked and loaded.
Yeah.
This is before Disco 3 Fat Boys, or this was that time?
This is like that right before the Disco 3 formed. We started all rapping together. You know what I mean? Like when we started hearing these records start to play, Rapper's Delight, King Tim III, The Message, we started to get into rap, and then we found out Buff beatbox, and we started rhyming. And I ran into this guy named T-Funk one day. He was like T-Funk was the biggest guy in our neighborhood. He was dope on the mic, like, and he kind of took me under his wing. And whenever we go to a block party, I go with him. You know what I mean? And he'd be like, "Yo, if you want to fuck with me, you gotta fuck with my man first," like that type shit. So I would be home writing rhymes all day, like just writing, like. And then I'm after hearing, you gotta understand, Kool Moe Dee was the guy that changed battle rap ever. You know what I'm saying? Before Kool Moe Dee and Busy B, a battle was just two groups or two rappers getting on stage one after the other, and the crowd deciding who had the better performance. It was never your mother's this and you're a dumbass nigga, and you know what I mean? And no disrespect. It was just, I'm gonna say how fly I am. I'm gonna sing some shit, and then when I'm done, you're gonna get up and you're gonna do your shit. I ain't gonna say nothing about him. He ain't gonna say nothing about me. And it's kind of like a competition that way. And then Busy B was like the master crowd rocker, party rocker. He was the master of crowd response. So You know what I mean? Everybody say, ho. They, nah. He'd do all this crazy shit, but had a party rocking. So they had this, it was like a 3-week battle of everybody going on stage and doing their best. And he was never a rapper. He would never write rhymes. He was a real MC, a master of ceremony. He would just host. And he was winning every day. Every day. For that 2 weeks, he was winning. And all the rappers, real rappers, was mad as fuck. So
because he was just coming up with this stuff.
Yeah. So Kool Moe Dee was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. He went home and he wrote a fucking rifle round. Like, he wrote some shit, some crazy shit. Hold on a bit. Y'all heard it before, right? Yeah, of course, yeah. You know what I mean? And just attacked him. And that was the first time in recorded history, in the history of rap music and rap culture, that one rapper started totally disrespecting another rapper and talking about a person personally. You know what I'm saying? The very first time. And then after that, that's how battling was from that point on. You know what I'm saying? So when I was home, I learned, like I came into it right around when I heard that. You know what I'm saying? So I knew, all right, let me find out a little information on this nigga. You know what I mean? All right, glasses, thick ass glasses. All right, I got you. Yeah, like I'm just taking mental note of everything. And when I get home, I'm just writing. So, But I ended up running into him, and we was fucking cool as shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we never even battled or nothing like that.
Yeah, shout out to Dad. I actually did an interview with Daddy-O at his crib a long time ago and shit. Yo, shout out to Daddy-O when he was in Queens. I don't know what he was doing in Queens, but yeah.
That's the OG.
Yeah,
So
man.
back in the day, what did anybody show their interest or like try to take you from Curtis Blow and wanted to sign you under their label? Did Russell ever get at you or?
No, you gotta understand. The guy that managed us was the guy that put the contest together that we won. His name is Charlie Stetler. He's from Switzerland. He loved rap music. He loved rap music so much. He loved the culture of hip hop, the breakdancing, the graffiti, all of that. He loved this so much that he moved from Switzerland to New York City so he can somehow get involved in it. And him and his wife, they both moved here to get involved in it. So he goes to the radio station and he pitches this idea. And of course, because he's a white dude, you know what I mean? He's gonna have the ability to talk to more people higher up than the average person that's involved in rap. You know what I mean? Now they're looking at it like, oh, wait a minute, there's white people involved in it. There could be some big money. You know what I mean? So he was able to get in there. And honestly, he was able to also solicit Coca-Cola and get them to put up some money to sponsor it. So it was the WBLS, it was called the Tin Pan Apple Dance and Rap Contest by WBLS and Coca-Cola. And Coke put the money up and BLS put the radio time up, promoting it and all of that stuff. And we found out about it about 5 days before the finals, before the final show. And we went, it was Friday, we won Friday, and the final was Monday. So, you know what I mean? And it was the last semifinal in the Bronx. So 3 kids from Brooklyn jumped on a train, rode all the way up to the Bronx, and served all the rappers up there in the Bronx. Everybody up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's just crazy. Yo, how did you feel when they asked you to be?
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I didn't answer the question he was asking me. I said that to say that Charlie Stetler managed us. So, can nobody get around him? You know what I mean? He wouldn't let that happen. And then B, right about the time when we became successful, that's when Talk of the Fresh Fest started. So the Fresh Fest came together from Russell Simmons, Ricky Walker, and Charlie heard about it and wanted to get us down with it. At first, the Fresh Fest was supposed to be all Rush management artists, all Def Jam artists. He didn't even want us on the tour. He's like, nah, we're not bringing the Fat Boys. Nah, fuck that. The only reason we got on the tour was because our manager had a friend in Switzerland that just started a company called Swatch Watch. And he was able to get him to sponsor the tour.
Oh shit, damn.
You know what I mean?
You know
So he
what
said the condition was the Fat Boys got to be on the tour. You know what I mean?
You know what I thought it was? I thought it was because Curtis Blow produced you, and that was Run's fucking artist when he was DJing. That's what I thought. Like there was a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I mean? Like, damn,
Nope.
that's crazy.
Yep.
That shit is wow. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say too.
It's all good.
Man, we just got a lesson in history.
No, No, that's what it's all about. That's what these shows is about, to teach people the history that don't know. You know what I mean? Because people nowadays, you say the Fat Boys are like, who? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, motherfucker, these motherfuckers is the reason. Fat Boys, Run DMC, and Houdini is the reason why music even changed to another level and shit. That's what I believe at that moment. Your 3 albums, I know it was Houdini's second album, but your first album and Run DMC's first album and Houdini's album, I think changed hip hop the way it is and the way it went and shit. You know
I think that our, like, one of the main things that we're responsible for, along with Run DMC and Houdini, is being the ones chosen to expose hip hop to the masses. You know what I'm saying? We were the ones that were filling up. Like, you gotta think of it this way. This is 1985, right? Yep. Okay, 1985. We go into Atlanta, and we're gonna perform in a venue in the Omni. 32,000 seats. Sold out. 9,000 people outside can't get in because there's no more room. In 1985. You feel me? So now we're in New Orleans. They never seen a rapper in their life on stage. We're the first niggas they seen on stage. Like, I remember performing and seeing kids, like little kids like my age in the front row, and they're like smiling so hard because they know that they can do the same thing we're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's rap. You know what I mean? So it was great, man. Like, it was great. We would go into markets, and our sales would be like 10,000 albums. And we leave, and that shit would be like 300,000 in a week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just crazy. It was great. It was great, man.
Are you guys still living off them albums at all? You guys do the publishing?
Yes.
That's crazy. Like, yo.
Up until after I die, 72 years later, it all becomes public domain.
Oh, okay.
But as long as I live, as soon as I die, 72 years later, after that, my son will own my stuff. My granddaughter will own my stuff after I'm gone. But 72 years after I die, then it becomes public domain and everybody owns it.
So basically, your paperwork was straight. You ain't.
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah. And you know what's crazy? We had all these lawyers around us back then, and we signed our first deal with Sutra Records. We had lawyers. My manager had lawyers. We had all these people looking over our contracts. And it wasn't until after our album was successful, Fat Boys, and it sold, it went gold. It wasn't until that point that my mother just happened to go in the file cabinet and pull it out and start reading it. And I watched her pull out a pencil and her notebook and started writing numbers down. And then she goes and picks up the phone and goes, "This is off by $1 million." Oh, I don't know who she was talking to or nothing. Next thing I know, we're having a meeting, and it's my mom, my manager, Cool's mom, Buff's mom, all of us, and we're at Sutra Records, and we're telling him we're going to sue him for $10 million if he doesn't let us go. Keep the $1 million you stole. You know what I mean? My mom's is the one that found that out. Keep the $1 million you stole, or we're going to sue you for $10 million. You can keep us. We're going to sue you for $10 million. You notice you're going to lose this shit right here. So he let us go. And we let him keep the money.
What was the second album on? What label was it on?
Salute Moms.
We got like, we should have never signed that deal. We were just young. We didn't know, but we didn't get jerked, but it was just a conflict of interest. Our manager, instead of taking us and getting us a deal with Polygram, he got himself one of the first production deals. So he got Tin Pan Apple Records through Polygram, and then signed us to. And then what he did was he did a deal with Polygram to deliver us. You understand? We didn't have a deal with Polygram. We had a deal with our manager, Charles Feller, for a production company. Okay. And then he did a deal with Polygram to deliver the Fat Boys.
Wow, wow.
You can't be the record label and the manager. It's a conflict of interest. How do I go to my manager and say I need more money from the label when he's the label?
When he's the label.
So it was illegal. It was a conflict of interest. And when I started getting older and smarter, that's when the beef started, and everything. And then I got kicked out the group.
You got kicked out the group?
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing. I do remember though, like a few years later after the fourth album, Prince Markie Dee had singles and you were doing your own shit. I remember seeing that shit. I remember that shit though.
Well, my solo albums came out in the 90s, in 91, 92, 93. And it had nothing to do with me leaving the Fat Boys. It was just that when I did leave the Fat Boys, when I got kicked out, I was asked to come back. And then I found out why they wanted me to come back. And and when I found out, I was like, nah, you know what? I'm good. Don't worry about it. And the reason why they wanted me to come back because Warner Brothers wanted to do the second movie in the 3 picture deal we signed, but they wouldn't do it unless it was all 3 original members. So when I found that out, I felt like, oh, this motherfucker's asking me to come back because he needs me now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Fuck you. So I didn't go back, and I ended up taking a chance at producing songs and writing songs, which is something that I loved. You know what I'm saying? And God blessed me again, man, and introduced me to Father MC. And I did all his joints. And because of the success of Father and my relationship with Andre Harrell, AKA Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, who are on Fresh Fest 2, that's how the door opened, and I was able to walk in there, and he was able to just, embrace me open arm and tell me that Uptown Records was just as well mine as it was his,
Oh no, that's dope. I didn't
That's
even know
dope.
that.
Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
You would see a Puffy in his early stages and all that shit, huh? Like, damn.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I tell people, I still do radio now. I'm on Rock the Bells radio now on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
But
I was listening to you the other day.
yeah, we had a great interview with CeeLo today, man. It was bananas, man. You got to check it out, man. He breaks down how the whole, huh?
CeeLo Green?
Yeah, CeeLo Green. He breaks down how he was almost the 3rd member of Outkast, and it was just crazy. You got to hear it, man. It's crazy. It's bananas. The history of how all that came together is bananas, dog. It's crazy.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's on demand on the app too, on the SiriusXM app. It's on demand. But yeah, I ended up leaving, and I met Father, and I did radio in South Florida when I came here in 2003, and I came here to do radio. That was a new passion that I had, and I became really successful at it. I was great, and I was #1 afternoon drive personality in South Florida, like 4 years in a row, all that shit. But I used to have a lot of interns, so I would try to teach them as much as I can. And there was a story that I would always tell them about when I first started, producing songs for a label called Uptown Records. And there was an intern there by the name of Puff. Everybody's calling him Puffy. Yeah. And Puffy was the type of guy where he would come to me and go, "Can I get you some coffee or something?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, thanks." And he would go get it. And when he came back, he would bring another cup with sugars in it, another cup with creams. He wouldn't just try to experiment on his own. He'd make sure I have everything. Before he leave, he would act like he was just so hands-on, like you wanted him around you. You know what I'm saying? Like he did everything perfectly, everything perfect. There was nothing. There was no dot. There was no T uncrossed, no dot undotted. None of that shit. He'd make sure he did everything. And because of how he operated and how he did his thing, we looked at him like, "Yo, this nigga's dope." Like, and Andre saw that also, and Andre gave him an opportunity. He went to Andre and said, Kurt Woodley had just got fired or had to leave or something like that. He was the main A&R. And Puff went to him and said, "Yo, Dre, let me be the A&R. You ain't even got to pay me for a year." That's how bad he wanted it. And he said, "Word? All right, you the A&R, nigga, let's go." And the very first artist that was Father MC, that was the one that he did. And then he comes to me one day and he goes, "Yo, we just signed this new girl from Yonkers. His name is Mary J. And I need you in the studio with her ASAP." And we turned up with Mary, did 4 songs for her first album, and because of the one song, Real Love, though, Mariah Carey loved Real Love so much that she told her then husband, Tommy Mottola, "I don't know who produced this record, but you better go and sign them right now." And the very next day, I got a call from Tommy's office that he wanted to meet with us. And the rest was history. Like, we sat down in his office and he's like, "So what do you guys want to do?" "Well, we want to start a production deal so we can sign artists." "Done. What else you want?" "Well, we want to build a studio." $2 million is enough money to build a studio? Is that a big enough budget? Yeah. "All right, what else you want? Like, give me something harder." It's his exact words he's telling us. And the only thing he told us was, before we walked out of that office, he said, I'll give you anything you want, because I like your guys' music. You guys are dope. But if you go to Russell and try to start a bidding war, I'm backing right out of this shit. I'm telling you right now. Within 5 days, they were breaking ground, building our studio.
Dope.
Dope. Crazy.
You ever get to I always wondered this, that Heavy D was trying to be like kind of like, light skinned fat boys and shit, like overweight Heavy D, yo.
When I first met Heavy D,
yeah.
when I first met Heavy D, it was I can't remember what tour it was. It was when I was dating Pepper, and I wasn't performing. I just went out on the road with her.
Pepper's there. Wow. Okay.
You guys gonna throw that out there.
Rest in peace.
No, I thought you knew. No, I thought you
Just
knew.
casually throw that out there.
I knew about Trent. You know what I'm saying? Like.
No, before all of that, I thought you knew. Like we were engaged. Like I thought everybody knew that. My bad. I'm sorry.
No. Might have heard, but I forgot.
Yeah. So this when I was fucking with her, I just went out on the road to hang with her, and 3 o'clock in the morning one night, I just woke up and I was thirsty. So I walked to the soda machine and Heavy D standing there. And exactly what you just asked me. Don't you think he's kind of like you? Like a little bit, like kind of imitate?
I always kind of thought that. I don't know. Like,
this is what he told me. He said, he looks at me, Markie Dee, and he walks up to me and he goes, if anybody ever told you that I said one bad word about you, they're lying. Markie Dee, Heavy D. Like he goes, light skin? You're light skin. See my goatee? I kind of like this because of you. And then he puts me in a bear hug and my face is in his fucking chest. And ever since that day, we were the best of friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my dog. Yeah, rest in peace,
people
Quinn.
passing away, man. This is crazy.
Tell you a real funny story one time. I'm in a city and I'm driving, right? And I just picked up this brand new banging ass Benz. I used to love that fucking car. And I'm at a red light and there's a crossing guard there directing traffic. And she's like doing this and she goes and glances at me and like, oh shit. As soon as she did that, the light turned green and I waved at her and I pulled off. The next light caught me and I look in the rear and she's hauling ass down the block. Right? So I rolled down the window. She's like, oh my God, I love you so much. It's like, can you give me an autograph? I go, yeah, give me the thing. I said, what's your name? She says, I can't remember what the name was, Lisa, whatever. I write to Lisa. And as I'm about to write Prince Markie Dee, she goes, I love when you go, but diddly 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 dee. I wrote Heavy D on it. Heavy D on it, and I gave it to her. That was great.
You could have not even been anybody. You could have just been a regular person. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's wild.
Wow. No, but I always kind of thought that Heavy D, Fat Boys, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you gotta understand, like the artists that come from my era, the golden era, they're respectful. You know what I mean? Yep. These are you're talking about artists that feel that it's an honor for me to be able to perform on stage in front of 30,000 people. You know, I didn't take none of that shit for granted. You know what I mean? Up until this day, it was an honor for me to work with Mary, with Mariah, with J-Lo, with all these big artists. Like sometimes I sit back and I look at my life like, the fuck? Like shit is crazy. Like I've worked with with Destiny's Child. Like I'm talking to Beyonce on the phone. Like this is first album Beyonce. I'm talking on the phone. Like, yo, the album's dope. Like, yo, shit. Like we talk like it's crazy. And I feel humbled by my life, you know? I've been able to do so many things and everything that I've done, I've been successful at. I was a rapper, a producer, a manager of producers, radio. And now my dream all my life has been to produce film and to be in film, you know, to act. So when this pandemic is over, about 6 months afterwards, I'm going to move to LA and start pursuing that dream. And I hope God blesses me the same way.
You already got
doing. Yeah. Well, the great thing the great thing about that is like a lot of the guys that worked on Crush Groove and Disorderlies are huge players in Hollywood right now. You know, that they're the biggest directors and the biggest agents and all that shit. And I'm cool as fuck with them. So that's my plan. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm going to him first. Like, you know?
No, but definitely too. You can't, the Fat Boys. I didn't mean to cut you off, Arkidelik. No, Arkidelik was about to say something. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't about to say it.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're the fucking Fat Boys, man. You know what I mean? Like, dudes are going to have to, you know what I mean? Once a person puts their imprint in something, people are going to be like, okay, it's going to stay. Like, because I know that me and everybody that's here with us, y'all Fat Boys did something to us with this hip-hop shit. You know what I mean? Like,
most definitely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you.
Real talk. No, that's real talk. Like, you might not, I mean, you was like, in your mind, like, damn, I got money, the woman, the music, everything's here. You know, the food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yo, let me tell you something. Let me just on that tip for a second, let me tell you. When you're a fat boy, like, you're in a group called the Fat Boys, and you're touring the world, Like you get to eat at some of the most amazing.
Yo, you need to do your Action
freaking
Bronson right now. You need to do
places.
your Action Bronson. You need to do
Yo,
it.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Do a food
You
show.
need to get Cool Rock Ski and
Yo.
start doing that shit, yo. You need
For
to
real.
bring it back, yo.
For real.
He's doing on the run, you know what I mean? Do your shit, like, yo.
Yeah, yeah. I remember being in Italy and we went to Milan and we got picked up and we were taken to this restaurant. The door of the restaurant was like this thick, solid wood, carved like from a solid piece of wood. And it was like 400, no, I'm sorry, I'm exaggerating. It was 200 years old. It's the type of restaurant where you walk in and you sit down and they don't bring you menus. Some old lady comes out from the kitchen and tells you, you're having the pasta vazul, you're having the shrimp malagusa, you're having, like, they tell you what you eat. And it's the fucking most amazing. Italian food is probably my favorite food. Like the best food you ever had in your life, dog. Like it's crazy. Those are some of the perks of being a fat boy. You know what I mean? You get the bomb ass food. I've been in restaurants where I order lobster tail, and because they know who I am, they bring me a lobster the size of my fucking chest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like it's bananas, man. And I thank each and every one of them, and thank you, to everybody out there that looked out for me and showed love.
Yeah, you gotta do it though. I watched that shit too. Like you're like, oh, it's perfect timing too. You know what I mean? To get in there, start traveling the world, do your tour, do your shows, get paid off that, and then go to the restaurant to like, boom, there you go. And you can be like, yo, we on our healthy shit. What you got in maybe for the healthy shit? Like, for real.
Right.
Not only that, you're older now. You know what I mean? So you gotta.
You said when I first jumped in before we started recording, you said that every once in a while you run into somebody and be like, yo, the fat boys are you stupid? Blah, blah, blah. It's crazy because before social media started really getting crazy the way it is now, a lot of artists, especially from my era, even in myself, kind of like didn't even want to rap no more because we seriously, like, I don't know about anybody else, just speak for myself. I kind of felt like nobody wanted to hear me anymore, That's the vibe that I felt. And because of social media, yo, I never been proven so fucking wrong, dog. I swear. Now, anybody has access to me now, with social media. Just DM me, And every day I look, I don't comb through my DMs, but I see how many more new DMs I get. Or if somebody may like, yo, I DM'd you on the regular IG, on the regular page, then I'll go and look for it. And as I'm looking through, I see so many people like, yo, please, we need new music. Like, when you going to perform again? And then you got platforms like, Rock the Bells, which I take my hat off to L because the only reason he created that platform was to re-energize those artists from back then. Like he doesn't just play old school music. If Kool Moe Dee puts out a new record, he'll play it. Like, this station over here is not gonna fucking play it. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna play whoever's the newest artist that the whole company's playing. Because that's the politics of radio. That's one of the reasons why I left radio. And one of the reasons why I have a renewed love for it now, filling in for Biz. And everybody who's watching or listening right now, please send out a positive energy for Biz and Impress, And L called me one day and he asked me to, Mark, let me run something by you. I need a favor. I need you to come. Biz is not feeling well. He's in the hospital. I need you to come and fill in for a week. And the week has turned into a month and a half now. So,
you're probably gonna end up having your own show.
Right.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, for facts, I have a renewed love for it now because of the intent of the platform, and not only the intent of the platform. One of the main reasons why I really wanted to get into radio because I love helping people. All my life, I've been that way. I was taught that way. My mother
loves love.
Give her last. She'll give her last to the people down the block if there's a family and there's kids didn't have no food. Baby, we gotta eat tomorrow, right? They need it more than us, all right? You're fat, like chill. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was raised that way. So when I got on the radio, I feel like it's almost my duty to use my celebrity and use, that microphone to better our people or better a person or a family or whatever it is. Let me give you a quick example. One day, and I tell you the specific day it was. You guys know who Paris Hilton is, of course, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you remember when Paris Hilton got arrested for a DUI and it was the biggest fucking news in America? Everybody's going crazy over Paris Hilton got arrested over DUI.
Yep.
I was doing mornings at that time. So before I come into work, I would grab whatever papers just so I could show prep a little bit. Come in 3 hours early and show prep. from page 1, from the front page to page 12, it's nothing but this fucking lady, Paris Hilton, arrested for DUI. Finally, when I get to page 30, in the corner, there's a little article like this, right? And the article is talking about a little girl who's 11 years old that lives in Miramar, Florida, which is the same city that the radio station is in. The little girl, I don't know if you know this, but if someone has AIDS and they have a child, that child is born with AIDS. But after a few months, the AIDS goes away from the child. I don't know why.
Okay.
Science can't explain it. It just happens. For some reason, her mom was born with, had AIDS. She was born with it, but it wouldn't go away. So they gave her some medication, experimental medication, and it fucked her kidney up, right? So she needs to be put on a kidney transplant list. University of Miami Hospital won't put her on the list because she has AIDS. So they feel like they're wasting a kidney. So how are you going to tell an 11-year-old girl that you're not going to put her, that you think she's going to die? That's why you're not going to give her a kidney. So when I read that article, it pissed me off so bad that Paris Hilton was on all them front pages that I went, I got a chair, and I put it in front of the door to the studio. And I cracked the mic, and I said, yo, I just locked myself in the studio. I'm not leaving. Now, this is the reason why I did it, though. I got in touch with the girl, and the girl told me, the girl's mother told me that there's a doctor in Maryland that will do it, but it was $15,000. So my intent was, I'm going to get you that $15,000. You know what I mean? So I locked the studio door, and I cracked the mic, and I reached out to the people, man, and told them the situation. And within an hour, there was $25,000 there. And I just felt like we need to go above and beyond that. So I started calling out Trick Daddy, Rick Ross, all the Dolphin football players. Yo, these are people that buy your records, Trick. Why you not up here giving with a check right now, man? Come on. Like, what the fuck are you doing? By the time the show was over, it was $45,000.
Wow.
The girl went. She had a kidney transplant. She came back. She's fine. I talk to her at least once a month. Checks in on me.
Salute to you for that, man.
But I didn't. Thank you very much. But
for real, love is love, for real.
No,
man.
thank you. No, thank you. But I said that to say that that's what I want to get into radio for. That's what I want to do. So when the program director tells me, yo, Mark, just read the liner book. Just read about the party that we got this Friday. Just read about the Lexus that just got the new car out. You know, when I
thought they make their money and shit. Yeah, but
I understand that. No, I understand that. But can I get one break where I talk about, you know what I mean? Where I help somebody, or we can, you know, it's good for the community. You know, it's good for our people, you know? Yeah. So when anybody can read this fucking book. You don't need me up here to do that shit. So I just got fed up with the politics of that shit. And when I got to Rock the Bells, the program director, one of the first things he told me was, talk about what you want to talk about. There's no line of book, none of that shit.
That's
what's
dope.
up.
Where's Rock the Bells located? Is it in Florida?
No, it's Sirius. So Sirius has offices everywhere.
So, okay.
If you're, let's say for argument's sake, where you at?
I'm in Connecticut.
All right, so there's Sirius offices in Connecticut. So if you get a show, you just go to the Connecticut building and do your show. But right now, since there's a pandemic, they just send mics and computers to the motherfuckers' houses.
Right
okay. Yeah, we do it on me and Janelle do it on Zoom every day.
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're already done with the Zoom shit. All right, you already know about
it.
Yeah. What's up with Cool Rock Ski, man?
I don't think it's coming.
I think he forgot us.
No, I think he has some issues.
Yeah, he said he was trying to take care of something.
Yeah, I think he's having some technical. He's not gonna come.
But you know, we're gonna plan to do this in the future with both of y'all, though. We gotta do that the same.
No. If he comes back, I mean, if he comes tomorrow, just call me. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll do it again. Like it ain't nothing. Whatever.
But you got so much. You already said so much shit that people are like, oh my God, okay. But no, I respect. You know what I mean? I mean, so you and LL. You was there when LL did the radio album. You knew LL before all that, and I mean, the Crush Groove. You know what I mean? Like
I met LL the very first day of the very first Fresh Fest in DC. We pulled up to do sound check, and I saw Run's bus, and I love them guys. Like we all love each other, big family on the Fresh Fest tour. So I walked on the bus, and when I walked on the bus, D's sitting there reading a comic, Jay's sleeping. And Runner's like, yo, Mark, what's up? That's the new artist we got. His name is LL. And ever since then, it's like, bang, right there. Me and him. We actually used to be kind of mortal enemies. We used to wrestle all the time, like, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? It was like that. And as we got older, I remember when I was managing producers at the time, and he hits me up one day, and he's like, "Yo, Mark, I'm starting Rock the Bells records again, and I want you to be vice president." So he had me as vice president, and from that point on, like we've just been the best of friends, you know.
I mean, I had this like LL's like one of my favorite rappers, right?
He's the GOAT. He's the
My
GOAT.
thing with LL is that why L never put nobody on? So that was always my impression of him.
Yeah, he put mad people on.
Yo, so y'all never seen that. It's just like he don't start no label. He ain't put nobody on. I didn't even know if he was prepared for that. So it's kind of great to see what he's doing, Rock the Bells, and he just bringing back the old pioneers and doing what they do. That's what I'm glad to see from L, because I always had this impression that's like, yo, he was all about himself. You know what I'm saying? But
there's a company called Sound Exchange, right? And Sound Exchange pays you for digital royalties when your song is played on the internet. You know what I mean? So Sound Exchange pays quarterly, every 3 months, right? So the first 3 months after Rock the Bell started, L calls me, he goes, "Yo, Mark, what did your Sound Exchange check look like?" I say, "Yo, my shit doubled." Cause he was playing my records again. You know what I mean? So think about it now. You got all these artists who wasn't getting a lot of money, or they don't have those opportunities they have anymore. That's why he did this shit.
That's
this nigga's a fucking multi-millionaire in California getting what do you get? 1.2 million an episode of the show he does. Like he got
NCIS.
NCIS. He has the lip sync jump off. He got that. Like that's his. Like he has so many other deals that you don't know about that he has popping. Like he did this for the culture, for real.
No, that's dope.
Rock the Bells, the website, is owned by just about 200 rap artists from back in the day. He gave them all a piece of it.
That's dope.
He gave them all a percentage of it. Everything that's sold on there, they get a check every quarter.
that's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Like, come on, that nigga, that's why I call him the GOAT. He the GOAT.
That's homage to the highest degree. Yo,
Thanks for setting me straight there.
Yeah.
you met Mikey Dee?
Yeah, they was on the Fresh Fest.
Mikey Dee was in the Fresh Fest for real? Not Mike D, the Beastie Boys.
Not Beastie Boys.
Mikey Dee from Queens, LA Posse.
LA Posse.
Nah, I might have met him. My memory's really bad, man.
Because I remember he said, Kool Rock-Ski said he used to go to his house and shit. Because Mikey D gave LL his name. They started together in Queens, Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so you was probably in that time, you was big, you was Fat Boys and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
one day when we started to film Crush Groove, like the second or third week, the first or second week of filming Crush Groove, we did a lot of the filming at this studio in Queens called Silver Cup. And I just found out about this maybe a week and a half ago. I get a DM and it's MC Shan. And he's like, "Yo, Mark, what's poppin'?" He's like, "Yo, I just want to tell you I love you, but I got to tell you a funny story that happened. You probably don't even remember this shit." He goes, I was trying to get into film Crush Groove, so I'm at Silver Cup Studios, and who walks in? Prince Markie Dee. And I'm looking, and I'm like, that's fucking Prince Markie Dee. And I got a flyer in my hand. He said, "You walked up and snatched that shit out of my hand and said, 'Give me that shit,' and kept walking." I was like, "Yo, Shan, I swear I don't remember that shit, and I'm sorry, bro." Yo, he goes, Shan is cool as fuck, man. He was like, "Mark, come on, I know we was young kids, testosterone and all that. Come on, I'm holding that against you, man. I thought it was hilarious. That's why I'm telling you this." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yo, I feel like such a dick, man." Like, you know what I mean? I look back like, yeah.
So check it. So have you had any of those experiences, or do you have a person that inspired you, or a celebrity that you wanted to meet or wish you never met them because they
you gotta
understand your impression of them?
You gotta understand when the Fat Boys were at their height, there used to be this list, this 100 household names. I think Time or Life used to put it out. 86, Michael Jackson was number 1. The Fat Boys are number 2. So there was around that time, apart from Run DMC, there's not another artist that you get that was bigger than us. So everybody who saw us was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? Everybody. Like I remember at the Grammy Awards when we presented an award. At the end of the Grammy Awards, they asked all presenters, artists, performers to go behind the curtain, and the host was gonna say bye. They're gonna lift the curtain, and all the artists are gonna wave bye. So we spent a good 15 minutes back there with everybody who presented and one performed. We're standing there, and Michael Jackson walks up to us and goes, I love you guys. And he starts beatbox.
Oh, man.
Let that sink in for a minute. You know what I mean?
Michael
Let that sink in
Jackson.
a second.
Crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is Mike. You know what I mean? So there's
This is
not really a lot
bit
of
after
artists.
the moonwalk on the Grammys and all that shit. I was
Yes,
like, yeah,
right,
that's
exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. Motown Honors, after Motown Honors. Exactly.
Yeah, so I know you had to be like, what is happening?
Yeah. But I said that to say that there wasn't an artist that we could walk up to that was bigger than us, that could look down on us. So, you know what I'm saying? Everybody treated us, nobody treated us, wow, you know. I remember, meeting Stevie Wonder, you know what I mean? And actually, we were at what's the big venue in London? 100,000 seat? Wembley Stadium. We're at Wembley Stadium, and we're performing there. And Stevie Wonder, as we were about to walk on stage, Stevie Wonder, and I go, yo, can I meet him? Like, and the security and his manager heard me as I was saying that. So he stopped them. Stevie, the Fat Boy's here. And you know what I mean? And Stevie's like, oh, the Fat Boy. And I'm like, yo.
You didn't knock the phone down.
No.
And wait for him to come back.
Can y'all guys hear me?
Yeah. You gotta
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Okay, I don't have video though.
Yeah. Try to go and come back and shit.
Okay, I got you.
All right. Wow, that shit was crazy, yo. You
That's
made it
crazy.
blind. You made Stevie see that shit. Like, word.
That's dope. Stevie's like, yo, it's the Fat Boys.
Hell yeah.
Shit we inspired to be.
1 second, let me put my headphones on, guys. 1 second.
Yeah, it's crazy that you said that shit. That shit is crazy, man.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Sorry about that.
You got what's crazy is you said that shit and then the shit went blackout like Stevie would say.
Wow.
That shit, you said, damn, yo. So you met Prince too or no? So you guys was popping and shit.
Yeah, big. We never met him face to face. We seen him. He came to the set of Crush Groove, and kind of like we went there to see Sheila E. And he kind of like walked by and we saw him. He's like, oh shit, there go Prince. Like, you know what I mean? But you want to hear something crazy? Prince was, you heard the stories of his philanthropy, right? Of him, doing things for people and paying for things. And when Lauryn Hill got arrested, the first thing that he told his assistant was, are the kids okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Prince is that type of guy. So one day we get a call from Curtis Blow, and it was I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it was the year that they finally allowed us to have Martin Luther King's birthday a holiday. And we did the song Sing Celebrate with all the artists, New Edition, Whitney Houston, the Fat Boys, Run DMC, everybody's on it. Prince paid for all of that shit. Everything. Flights, everything. He paid every single thing for that shit. You know what I mean? So he's the type of guy, man, that just has so much love in his heart, man. He's just a shy guy. He's an introvert. You know what I'm saying? He just was shy. So it was kind of like, once he get to know you, he was, on the cool shit. Like Mike. Mike is the same way. Like we got to know the whole Jackson family like really well. I produced songs for 3T, his nephews, and they flew us out to they flew us out to the family honors when they had it in Vegas. Corey produced songs for Mike, and I hung out in the studio with Mike. Me and Michael Jackson sat there, and he bringing in his big photo albums. He wanted to raise his kids in South Africa. He loves South Africa. So he said, tomorrow when I come and bring my photo album. He brings this big fucking photo album the next day, and we're sitting on the console, and he got this big, and we're literally talking for like 2 hours, and he's showing me each picture, and we're talking about what this one is, and it's like, yo, this is dope, Mike. And then and it's just crazy, man. It's like bananas, man.
It's crazy. We keep talking about a lot of people who passed away too. Rest in peace to everybody.
Yeah.
For real, like damn.
Shit, I hope I don't pass away now. Fuck, man.
Don't put that.
You in Florida, so
don't put that in the air. Don't put that in the air.
Don't be outside out there, man. That Florida.
Hell no. I don't go nowhere, dog. Fuck that.
That's why I'm packing up now, buying this house, and I'm getting away from people.
Yo, that's a smart thing to do. Smart thing to do.
Wow. So I'm just I say you chilling with Michael Jackson. That shit is fucking crazy.
Crazy, man. My life is, I live for 10 niggas, man. If I die today, man, I don't live for 10 niggas, man. I you know what I mean? Like, I've had so many blessings in my life and been in so many unique opportunities, you know, and they'll always be with me. I'll pass these stories on. I'll pass stories on to my children, to my granddaughter when she gets old enough to understand. I'll be able to pass them on to her, and you know, she'll learn lessons from all of this. You know, I have so many life lessons. You know, that me being on the road and learning, and there's different situations and things. You know, and how to deal with life. And I'm glad I went through all of this. You know, I'm glad I was able to be successful. And to have changed some people's lives, you know? Like when you tell me, I don't take that for granted when you tell me, yo, first time I bought the Fat Boys and I loved hip hop. I'm so happy to hear shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's real shit though. You know what I mean? And when that album came out, all of us in this whole chat didn't even know each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, we're talking
all felt
long
like
time ago.
That shit happened. You know what I mean? You touched. Imagine how many
That's
other
beautiful.
people that shit happened to, you know what I mean? Especially a motherfucker who, I mean, and I know that by talking to you already, you feel how we feel. You love the culture and shit. So that's like, boom, that's like the reason at the beginning, you know what I mean? I mean, that's really at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Because, I remember I was on that breaking. I was a breaker in 83, 82, 84. I was breaking. But then when, the Run DMC Fat Boys album came out, I mean, Houdini had the Jermaine Dupri. They had me windmilling towards the Freaks of Night and all that shit. But y'all joint came out, like, I remember y'all even, and Kool Rock Ski was saying on the Crush Groove movie, he said that you guys are only supposed to be in a little bit of it. And like, no, we need to take these dudes and make them a big part of this shit.
Yeah. They ended up rewriting the script.
With Warner Brothers or some shit like that. Yeah. And that was crazy. You guys been you had the beef with the fucking big dude and shit, cause with his girl and shit, the muscle dude.
Yep. Trying to smash his girl and all that. That's funny.
And then I brought up the shit and I was asking, I'm like, you was young that way, right? I said, was that really y'all with the IDs, with the tall motherfuckers on the IDs?
You know what's crazy? When we filmed that movie, I was like 15 or 16 or something. I can't remember exactly. And I was like, off the record, I was smashing like one of the production girls. She was like fucking 39. And I was like, yo, she was child raping me to death, yo. We go in my fucking dresser. I'm in my dressing room, and she would slam the door and stove against the wall. I'd be like, oh shit, like, mommy. It was crazy, man. Yo, shit was crazy back then.
Oh,
yo.
man.
Back.
That's insane, bro.
Crazy.
That shit is definitely crazy.
Yeah.
Lived a wonderful life, man.
You have
Still living.
I didn't even ask you. Do you have a story you could tell us with Run DMC with y'all? Like
Yeah, plenty, tons.
Give me a good story. Like,
all right. So, first of all, let me just tell you, I'm a student of the game. Like, I want to know everything about everybody, every rapper that I admire, like how you started. Like when I do interviews with artists, I never do no research because I want to hear from their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm into it just as they tell. I'm into the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one day I was sitting in my hotel room and I was like, I never knew how Run DMC started. So I was like, let me go up there and ask a joke. You know what I mean? Let me go ask them what happened. So when I get up there, it's DMC, Run, and Jay are in the room. They're all three of them in the room. And I ran into Kool Rock in the hallway, I think, and he came with me. So it's me and Kool Rock, and we going there. So we inside, and we're all talking. And I was about to ask them, what I came up there to ask them. And then I said, let me sit down for a minute. And when I sat down, they have the phones on the nightstand. So if you want to make a call, you got to sit on the bed right next to the thing.
Yeah.
So Joe looks at me and goes, yo, what you sit at the head of my bed for? And I'm like, my bad, dog. Like, I ain't mean to, you know what I mean? Like, I was just accident. So I stood up, let him sit on the fucking head of my bed. So he started getting loud. So, I'm from Brooklyn. So, like, I love him, but, nigga, like, I've been in plenty fights. I've smacked a lot of niggas in my life, So me and him start arguing. And I swear I didn't want to touch him. I didn't want to do nothing to him. But I said, you know what? I'm going to sit back on the bed. Fuck that. And I sat back in the shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck you. Like, you talking reckless, nigga. Like, fuck wrong with you?
It's your disrespectful shit.
So he grabs me by the leg and he tries to pull me off the bed. I'm playing football for years, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I grabbed the nightstand to put my arm in the nightstand. He couldn't move me. He took my sneaker off. He walks to the hallway and he throws my sneaker in the hallway. So I get up, I walk to him, and I snatch the derby off his head. I go in the bathroom and I fill that bitch with water, right? And I take it to him and I throw this shit. Ask Cool Rock, think I'm lying. And I threw that shit at him. After I throw it at him, he puff up his chest. So normally I don't do no chest puffing. I just go immediately get to going. But I swear I didn't want to fight run. You know what I'm saying? As mad as I was, I didn't want to. We were so cool. I didn't want to fight him. So I just puffed my chest with him. And when I puffed my chest with him and got in the chest, Jam Master Jay jumps in between us. Goes, "The fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? Yo!" Like he just started barking. And then the next thing out of his mouth was, "Shake hands." And I just looked at Joe. Sorry. Like. Sorry, he's like, sorry. And that was the end of it, man. And we became best friends again, man. That was it. The time almost came to blows or run.
You got Houdini story?
Houdini? Oh, plenty of them. Well, Houdini's a little different. Houdini, Jalil was the guy who kind of Jalil put me under his wing. How can I say this? Jalil's the guy that taught me how to be able to talk to women properly as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different when you're an artist. So what Jalil always taught me, like, look, he goes, look, if you're not an artist, you're just a regular dude, then this is how you got to do it. So, hi, beautiful, how you doing? What's your name? Where you from? Like, can I buy you a drink? Can we spend some time together? But you an artist, Mark, so this is what you got to do. What's up, baby? So I'm like, that's it? Yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, they're going to give you for the pussy, I'm telling you. So when I learned that shit, I used to try it all the time. What's up, baby? Oh, Markie Dee. Yo, I used to, wow, man. But Jalil was always like the guy that was like, I looked at him like the older, like guy that I would like, how is he talking to girls? Like, and he would always treat girls like real cool. You know what I mean? Like, he would never disrespect a woman. He'd be fucking a whole bunch of them. You know what I mean? But that was his thing. So that's how I picked up my shit from him. Like, you know what I mean? I've always been like real polite. When I released my first single album, the first song was a song called Typical Reasons, Swing My Way, right? So the song was about a girl being abused by her boyfriend, and I'm trying to convince her to leave that nigga. I'm not saying I'm going to wife you. I'll give you some dick, but at least I'm going to treat you better than this nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's beating your ass every day. And the reason I did that record is because my mother used to be abused. There was this guy in the neighborhood who I used to look up to. One day I was walking down the block and he beating the shit out of his girlfriend. And I was like 9 and I couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been my thing. So, and I was raised by my moms, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? So I've always wanted to respect women, never wanted to raise my voice. So when Jalil, when I used to watch him, the way he used to act, I used to just copy all his shit all the time. You know what I mean? And I was like the fucking playboy after that. You know what I mean? So we've had a bunch of opportunities where, you know, it went down. You know what I mean? Like in the same room, like it's going down. Like he'd bring a girl in and she have a friend with her, and I'd be like, "What's up, man?" And Jalil knew exactly what I was doing. You know what I mean? It was like click. It was crazy, man. But yeah, we had a bunch of good times, man.
I used to think that Grandmaster D was the one that was doing all the smashing. I don't know. He get this color eye.
Oh well, nah. D used to come to me all the time. You know what I mean? He used to come to me. Yeah, he would come to my room because, you know, I don't give a fuck how drunk or anything I am. I cannot off mic. My dick can't get hard unless the bitch is pretty. Like I can't fuck no ugly bitches. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So D is the same way. So he rode around. If he can't find a pretty bitch, he come to my room because, you know, I got a pretty bitch. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm finished smashing, I'm like, baby, you gotta go. Like, you know what I mean? She go and he smash her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. It was wild, man. We was crazy back in the day.
So I thought you was in business with like Arkidelik and shit with the strip club shit. Is that true?
Yes.
Or no?
Yeah. Well, what happened was when I was doing radio here, was right around the time King of Diamonds popped off.
Okay.
So
okay.
So as far as promotion is concerned, they came to the radio station because they wanted to run ads. And then this one ad package, there's hosting along with it, where if you spend a little bit more money, you get the radio DJ to come to the club and host also. And he talks about, I'm going to be at the party this night, blah, 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 blah. So they used to hire me to go to do that at King of Diamonds. So me having my being comfortable and know what to say on the mic, coming from all those tours that I did, when I walked into a strip club, it's natural for me to pick up the mic and start talking to girls, talking about, y'all niggas just gonna sit there and not put $1 out, like, and start clowning niggas and making it a fucking party. So at King of Diamonds, I was the guy that made everybody spend money. And like, if you listen to any King of Diamond video, old school video, and you see a nigga talking on the mic, that's me talking on it. Yo, where the fucking dollars? Then niggas start going ham. Niggas start throwing money everywhere, going ham and all that. That's me getting them niggas to throw the money. Oh, y'all California niggas gonna let these niggas from Chicago throw all the money? Y'all niggas gonna sit there? Nah, fuck that. The niggas go and get like 20 bands, come back, start busting that shit. Y'all Cali niggas gonna let the Chicago niggas turn up? Like, it seems to be crazy. So after King of Diamonds closed, I used to eat like at King of Diamonds. Like, okay, so if I help a girl get money, this is how it works in a strip club. If you're a DJ and you help a girl eat, if you get them paid while they're on stage, they give you 10% of what they make. So if a girl makes $3,000 on stage, she got to give me $300. At King of Diamonds, there's 250 girls.
Wow.
So you were caking.
Exactly. I'm walking at it with 15,000 every night. Like, 10,000, 25. On my birthday, I walked at it with 35,000 every night.
Ooh.
So it came to the point where the girls didn't even want to go to work unless I was DJing, because the other DJs didn't know how to get them money. You know what I'm saying? So when King of Diamonds shut down, every other club, Binnenwalk, firing at me. I'll give you this. So I went to G5, this other club here. And then after that, Pop, who owned King of Diamonds, calls me one day and says, yo, you know the rapper Arkidelik? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I never met him before. I knew of him. He's like, he just bought a club called Queen of Diamonds. Yeah. So I went over there and started rocking, and me and him got mad cool. And then he sold that club and bought a club called V Live on South Beach. And I started working there. And then he sold that recently. And he's not in the strip club business no more. But I ended up getting picked up by another club, which is like the King of Diamonds of today here in Miami. It's called Booby Trap on the River. Like, at any given moment, Drake is in there, 50, T.I., everybody comes there. Trey Lorenz, the other everybody's in that motherfucker, you know what I mean? And I get all these niggas that spend crazy fucking bands. So, yeah, I'm kind of like in Florida, I'm like, all the strippers fuck with me like that. Like, I could call 200 strippers right now. Yeah, basically. I could call 200 strippers right now to come here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't fuck with them. I'm older now. I don't do all that wild shit. They all look at me like an older brother. And honestly, the reason why I never really fucked with them in the first place, try to get no pussy, is because it fucks the money up. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, yeah, once you fuck one of them, then she don't want to tip you no more. And you know what I mean? She's fucking rationing out the pussy. She don't want to give you no more. So I'm like, fuck, I'm not fucking with none of these people. We gonna keep it business.
She's jealous because you talking to some other freak or whatever. Like, just jealousy.
Right. Don't want to fuck up the money.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's funny. I just said a joke because I was watching that show P Valley on Stars, and I'm like telling my wife, like, yo, once the strip clubs open back up, I'm about to be a DJ in the strip club.
Yo, I'm telling you, man.
See, like, there you go.
It's not, and not just the strippers tip you. I mean, like the customers. Like, I had this one customer come to the DJ booth one night, pull out a fucking big ass rack of hundreds like this, and just kept going to the DJ booth. By the time he stopped, I had 7,000 that he just threw on me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's money in the strip clubs, like money. Like when all these DJs go on the beach, I used to tell the DJs that worked with me at the strip clubs, don't tell these niggas on the beach how much we make. You know what I'm saying? Because they getting $300, $500 to DJ all night. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even get me to look at your club for $300 or $500. You know what I mean? I'm walking out the club with 10,000, 15,000 a night. If they knew what we was making over there, they'd be dying to get over here. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them found out and they tried to come, but they couldn't do it because the main thing is you got to make the girls eat. You got to help them make money. That's the rule of the strip club. You know what I mean? So
You got that shit on lock, man. That shit.
Yeah. I'm about to retire soon, though. When this pandemic is over, like I said, 6 months after this is over, I'm going straight to LA and get my shit on.
Do the movie thing.
Yeah, the movie thing. And get back into music, too. You know, Corey's out there, you know. So, and he calls me.
I'm getting your number, man, because I'm going to have people that want to get on them soundtracks for the movies and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, like me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Take it right now.
I'll mix the records, whatever.
Yeah, no, just send me in the Instagram, John. You know what I mean, and definitely, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I just followed you on Instagram too.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So I think I did. I did before I did it. But yo, that history of the fucking Fat Boys.
Yeah.
I got a
What
question.
What was the biggest album? No, go ahead, Sparkz. I'll save this question. Go ahead.
I'm trying to remember when I was a young kid, growing up, listening to Fat Boys, and did the Fat Boys ever have like a cartoon?
We had a cartoon in the works, but we did the theme song for the Police Academy cartoon.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the biggest album? What was your biggest album sale?
Our biggest album is the album that's celebrating an anniversary today. Yeah, today, Crushing.
Crushing, huh?
Yep, 33 years ago.
What's your favorite album?
Fat Boys or Fat Boys Are Back. One of them.
Fat Boys.
But any of the first three. Anything after that,
I think Fat Boys' first album is in their top 10 with Illmatic and all them for the power of the first. I like, you know, Run DMC's first album.
Yeah.
Criminal Minded, Paid in Full. I put the Fat Boys album in that category.
Oh, absolutely. Because like at the time, I used to know almost that entire album word for word.
Yeah.
You know, you walking down the street, your headphones on, and you singing it word for word.
I was on a flight. I was on a G5 private plane going to see a Mayweather fight with Rick Ross, right? So this is when I was doing afternoons. And I was like, yo, Rick, I got a fucking camera. Let's do a quick interview. So I pull out the video camera, and we did an interview for an hour, right? The first 45 minutes of the interview, this is how he started off the interview. He said, yo, Markie Dee, before you ask me the first question, let me just say this. Now, this is the story, I'm going to tell it as I can, about Peter Parker, known as Spider-Man. Swung from building to building, from tree to tree, and sometimes mingle with the young ladies. That was the first rhyme I ever wrote in my life. I was 10 years old, and it's on the Fat Boys album. This nigga recited it to me from when the fucker came out. We went in 2008, which when Mayweather fought Hatton. Whatever year that was, that's when he recited that rhyme to me.
Damn.
I couldn't fucking believe he's reciting this rhyme from the early 80s. And then today, well, actually 2 days ago, but it played today. This is how it actually happened. 3 days ago, I'm looking through my Instagram, and I'm a big CeeLo fan. I love CeeLo. I love him because he was the guy in Goody Mob that was chubby, but he took his shirt off and bust some fucking lyrics on your ass. So to me, he was like our representative. You know what I mean? That's why I loved him so much. And he's so talented, man. You know what I mean? And I followed him on Instagram. And then I saw this post, and I was like, yo, just want to let you know I love you, bro. He responded back to me. If you go there right now, you'll see it. Now, this is the story I'm going to tell it as I can about Peter Parker, though, that's Spider-Man. He recited the fucking rhyme again. So, like, this shit is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for these niggas to be reciting my rhymes, and, you know, like, is fucking bananas. It's mind-blowing to me, you know what I mean? But it just further solidifies and it proves, like, that we came around at a really good time, that we were able to influence a lot of people, you know? And our whole gimmick and our whole message was love yourself for who you are. That was our message, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if you fat, you still can get some pussy, you know what I mean? It don't matter. None of that shit matters. And today, we get a lot of, actually not just today, for a long time, the people that always overlooked us was media. Like, VH1 honors, them motherfuckers never considered calling us once to be honored in VH1. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason I was mad about it, because I wanted Buff to be honored. You know what I'm saying? Because he deserved that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when, like I said, when social media came around and I saw the fans, the power of the fans, like, that's when I was like, you know what? Fuck these niggas, media niggas. Let them fucking not talk about it. Let them not know. You know what I'm saying? But you look at the guys from the VH1, the guys that make those decisions, Them niggas wasn't there. They wasn't in the 80s listening to hip hop when it first popped off. You know what I'm saying? They just turned 22. They just getting in the game. They don't know. You know what I mean? They going off of what somebody else told them. You feel me?
No
So
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or nothing. That shit crazy.
You know what?
well, we have a display in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Our jackets. We have an album called On, and we have these leather jackets with the forks and all that shit in them. Those jackets are on a display in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but y'all need to be totally in the hall. You know.
Well, there's not a lot of rappers in there yet, so hopefully we'll be on it soon.
Is doing a museum type thing right now, right? So I'm sure you.
Yeah, there's one in DC and there's one in the Bronx, and we're on it in there already.
Yeah, was I just about to? No, it's crazy that I was gonna say. It's crazy that like people honor like like the Rolling Stones and all that shit, and they be like, yo, this is rap. This doesn't compare. They weren't playing instruments, but they don't understand that the impact and the power is exactly the same what they did, what y'all did with the people, and they don't want to accept it. Certain people.
Oh, they do now. They do now.
Yeah. They have
They
to
do
now.
now,
Yeah. But you know, for
Yeah,
years,
they don't have a choice now.
It wasn't like that for you. You know that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hell no.
you
The thing
know,
about it is they're and I understand it because the hall was created to honor rock music, but it's just that they started switching the vibe up a little bit because rock wasn't. When rap came along, it started beating the shit out of rock.
Yeah.
Like rock started disappearing. You know what I mean? Like what big rock groups are there out now? You know what I'm saying? Like I remember in the 80s when we used to tour, every time we do the radio station, we go, yo, we just left Mickey D's. And the radio announcer would be like, what's Mickey D's? McDonald's. And then 2 years later, McDonald's is running commercials calling it Mickey D's. We started this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I remember all this shit. I see this shit happen like in front of my eyes. I see my man Fat Doug said the illest shit of it. He said 10 years ago, and this was in 1990. He said 10 years ago, they didn't want to get a seed, no water. Now they hanging off our branches. And I just felt that was so appropriate, you know what I mean, for the moment. And it's still. Now you see rap everywhere. Rap is, you know what I mean? Hip hop is the fucking #1 selling music genre in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
hip hop is a big reason why that KKK, whatever craziness, has got no power because the fucking culture brings everybody together at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If hip hop never existed, I can't even imagine what it'd be like right now and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jesus.
for real. You know
everybody have long blonde hair.
Well, the way I look at it is like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? No offense, but it seemed like the Caucasians, white people, they trying to do it better than the ones who created it.
Yo.
They trying to take it for themselves pretty much.
For real.
So that's how I look at it.
You know what I think as far as like artists like Eminem? First of all, I think Eminem is in my top 5. There's only 2 people who have solidified spots in my top 10 MCs. There's only 2 people. Everybody else is random in there. They could be put in any position. Number 1 is LL. He's number 1 to me. You know what I mean? And number 6 is Eminem. All those other spaces, like it doesn't matter who's in what spot. You know what I'm saying? They're all the greatest. My top 10.
Who's the 3 MCs that made Prince Markie Dee?
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Well, that's Cool Rock Ski.
Hopefully.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah, who's the 3 MCs that made Prince Markie Dee?
So you got to understand, we came like right at that, you know what I'm saying? Right in the beginning, like where the guys before us, directly before us, were the guys that we were inspired by. So the 3 guys that inspired me have to be Curtis Blow. To me, he was the king of rap back then. They were him and Melly Mel. Like, I'm the king of rap. Nah, I'm the king of rap. They were the biggest guys that were going at it back then. And to me, I had Kurt's back. You know what I mean? Like, nah, fuck that. Kurt. So Kurt is one of the guys that inspired me. Besides, he inspired me as a producer and a songwriter also. You know what I mean? And the other 2 guys were these 2 Puerto Rican rappers. But actually 3 of them. One was named Ruby D. The other one was named Prince Whipper Whip. And they were in a group called the Fantastic Romantic 5. And they were the guys that battled the Cold Crush and beat the Cold Crush.
Oh, they beat him? Oh, shit.
Yeah, they beat, hell yeah.
That.
Yeah, my name is Ruby D and I'm Puerto Rican. You might think I'm black by the way I'm speaking. Like when I heard him say that shit, I was like, another Puerto Rican rapper. Oh shit. I had to find out everything about him. And then when we went to the contest, we heard about the group The Fearless 4. But when we went to the contest that we won, the semifinals, the Fearless Four were there. They were judges. They were the ones that picked us. And I finally got to see the devastating Tito, and he was Puerto Rican. I thought he was black.
Yep, Mikey Dee.
And
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Mikey D's
oh,
man.
shit. And I was like, oh, shit. And then, let me see, 82, 10 years later, 12 years later, I'm signing Tito to a deal with Soul Convention because I got to deal with Sony. It's coming full circle, and I'm giving him a deal now in a group called Menagerie.
That's dope. That's
Wow.
like what LL's doing with the same. That's dope, yo. That's dope.
Yep.
That's just wow. Who's your favorite 3 rappers today?
Today that are out today?
Yeah. I know it ain't easy.
Nah, it's not. Just pick 3.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'll give you a 10-year stretch. Okay, so like
I mean, just random. Like I could, when this interview's over, I might switch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not 100% sure, but I gotta say 50. Like I love 50, mainly because it's my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta support my dog. You know what I'm saying? 50. Definitely Drake. And I'm just naming the new guys. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, not like my favorite rappers of all time, just the new guys. 50, Drake, and Rose, Rick Ross.
All right, so you just said who's your 10 top favorite rappers of all time? 10.
I can't give them to you. I know who they are. I can tell them. I can't say them only because on Rock the Bells they have this thing called the Furious 5, and they have different artists give their top 5 favorite rappers, and then they play a song from them, and I'm recording mine next week, so I have to hold it for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go 90s then. Top 5 and 90s.
90s. There was so many, man. Pop, Biggie, Tretch.
Yeah, dude, you said Tretch.
Ice Cube.
Yeah.
But Cube was in my top 10. I can say that though. Cube was in my top 10. But Cube was killing. There were so many rappers, man. It was just so dope. A lot of them are escaping me right now, but.
And then if you say 10, it's going to change tomorrow.
No. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Were you a fan of Sean Price coming from Brooklyn?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Rest in peace, Sean Price, man.
Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Like anybody from Brooklyn, like on my Instagram about 3 months ago, this guy had hit me up on Instagram and he's like, yo, I'm gonna battle you one day. Oh no, this is what happened. I was on my live and this guy goes in the comments, he goes, yo, I'm a rapper. I go, all right, if you're a rapper, like I always say, if you're an artist and you're in a position to display that talent to somebody who could possibly help you, and I ask you to help to spit, and you don't spit, then you don't really want to be in rap. Because you don't know who the fuck I know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who I know, what I could do for your life. So the guys in the comments like, I'm a rapper. I go, if you're a rapper, jump in the live and give me 16 right now. Nah. I'm like, you ain't no rapper. You ain't no rapper. I'm like, get out of here. You ain't no rapper. Right? I'm like, you lucky I don't block you. You ain't no rapper. So a few days later, he like posts some shit on his Instagram. Prince Markie Dee thinks that I'm a sucker, but I'll fry him or some shit like that. He said, and I posted, you know, like I went on the thing. I was like, come on, man. You know, I take your head off, nigga. Stop playing. Like, you know what I mean? And he started like really going like bothering me. Like he's in, every time I go live, he's in the fucking comments. I blocked him. He got a new fucking thing. And then he tells me, yo, man, it's still me. I got a new screen name. Like, you know what I mean? He kept bothering me. So I said, you know what? I'll tell you what. Next Saturday, I'm going to be on my live at 3 p.m. Jump on my live with me. You spit 16, I'm going to spit 16. That, and we'll let people in the comments pick a win. No. I'm going to the studio tomorrow to record a diss song about you. You go, after you hear mine, go in the studio and record a diss song about me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that shit is
you talking about?
I always say
like,
that.
huh?
If you want to battle, let's do that right here, right now type shit. Like, yo, like.
So the nigga did
live shit.
Yeah. So the nigga did a diss rap. It was horrible. But I said, you know what? I'll let everybody, my followers decide if I should off with your head or not. This nigga's. So let's go listen to this shit. If you like, do you think I should take his head off? If you think I should take his head off, put in the comments off with his head. If you don't think I should take his head off, say show him mercy. Off with his head, off with his head, off with his head, off with his head. So I was gonna do it, but then I changed my mind. I was gonna do it, but then at the last minute I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna grab an old school beat and I'm just gonna put some bars on it and just to spit on it. So I said, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not gonna kill a nigga. I wrote this rhyme called Brooklyn, and I recorded it in my crib real quick, and I threw it on my IG, and niggas was loving that shit. But it shows, if you get a chance, go check it out. I mean, it just shows my love for Brooklyn. I mentioned Daddy on that shit, all of that shit. What I say? Brooklyn. When you from Brooklyn? No, that's the wrong one. I can't remember this shit. Yo, I'm getting like a brain fart right now, dog. No, just 3 months ago, nigga. We made them years. Fucking up. Oh, so how you gonna say your rap book bigger when I've been writing since the 80s, nigga? And plus I got the GOAT on speed dial. Dudes fuck with me. That's bigger than that nigga from Green Mile. While you looking up the Diddy and Master P, they showing love to me. Now check it. I'm your OG's OG. You get it? Now let it sink in. Digest it. Cement it. You mad because you ain't get your pound of flesh yet. Or maybe I smashed your moms on the Fresh Fest. Back then I'm knocking down everything moving. Actually, that's alleged. It ain't been proven. And this here the ledge. You must keep it moving. My barber keep me crispy. I'm from the land that invented the $1.50. You see, it's something different about Brooklyn cats because we actually live what we rap. While you were geeked in class because you made the debate team, I was in Medina dapping Glaze from 18. A lady killer, fuck soap and Noxzeme. I pull up and slide and leave her with face cream. Brooklyn, we known for hot cars, jewelry, smashing your bitch in hot bars, money. And if we short, we take yours. But you safe, we doing movies and world tours. But before that, the East ran the set. Besides me, it was Daddy O from Stet. He caught so many bodies, I was trying to figure, is he a rapper or is he a serial killer? And I ain't gonna talk about Kane, because I seen him leave niggas looking like COVID-19, all pale and heartless. Nigga, salute to the Prince of Darkness. All rappers born in the county of Kings. When you see them, bow down and kiss the rings. And shout to the Bronx, Manhattan, and Queens. All the killers in general pop in the bins. The boosters, scammers, get it all means. So much these eyes have seen. I've been shot at, shot back, and cleaned the slate. Knocked down at least 4 in every state. Taught Germany, Paris, London, Milan. So much money to divide, I add on. Blessed. I can't even make it clearer. In movies, while you was in movie theaters, trending before IG and Twitter. I told you fucking with a OG spitter. If it's a bad bitch around, I'm probably with her. And tonight, I'm gonna be probably in her. Then it's off to the trap for drinks and dinner. We got strippers that's resembling Kylie Jenner. And we leave niggas looking like dude from Thinner. White man from town, say Mark a winner. And in the end, it's all about lies and sinners, man. So I spit that shit on there, you know? And yeah, so I mean, Brooklyn, like that's to me.
I haven't heard you
You
rhyme.
know you got joints in the top, Mark.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
I record shit all the time.
I got 2 more big questions before we can continue. But yo, number one, before I even go to that one, is the Fat Boys ever gonna do another album? Like you try to do something, or it's over?
Nah. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, we might do like I was thinking about putting out another album on my own. And if I do, I want to ask Kurak to do joints with me. You know what I'm saying? Like do 3 or 4 joints with me, you know?
Yeah.
But as far as a Fat Boys album, I don't think so, nah.
Well, no bumps.
I mean, unless somebody comes along, if a label comes along or someone comes along and say, yo, I'm going to give you this money. I want you to record this album. Then we'll do it on the pretense of that. But us putting together a Fat Boys album, nah. Records together, yeah, we could do those all day. But yeah, I don't want to tarnish the legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's
already been done.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Kurakski said you guys already reached your pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the word I'm saying. The word right? Pinnacle?
Well, yeah. You're saying the word right. But the thing about it is that, see, what Kurak needs to understand is that there's still niggas that want to hear him. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They listen to Rock the Belt all the day. There's people that will buy a new record from Kurak right now. You know what I'm saying? There's people that will buy a Fat Boys record right now. there's people who want to meet, who want to go see us perform right now. We just didn't know that they were there because they couldn't reach us. We're accessible now through social media. And now they call me, I hear them I get so many people in my DMs talking about, yo, the show is crazy. Yo, I saw y'all in Bakersville, California. If y'all do another show, let me know. I'm there. Like, it's crazy. The audience is still there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that in regular hip hop, it's so young. Hip hop tends to stay young. And these rappers of today, I love them to death. I don't think they're as talented. You know what's funny? I was talking to Milk D earlier. From Milk D.
Milk D.
Chilling.
I haven't heard that name in a minute.
I was talking to him today. I want to interview him on Rock the Bells on Thursday. And I was and I asked him, I was like, yo, like, do you get the same niggas coming to you asking what you feel about today's, like, trying to set you up to hate, to look like disgruntled? You know what I'm saying? And I get mad niggas come to me like that. You know what I mean? Try to get me to look like I'm a hater or disgruntled about, because I'm not selling records right now. And I honestly think that if it wasn't for these niggas that's rapping today, hip hop would have been over, because it has to evolve. It can't stay the way it's always been, like the way we enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna have different tastes. Hip hop would have been over if it was just Run DMC and the Fat Boys and LL, whoever came out that decade. It would have been done by now. If niggas still rap the same way,
it needed to be a balance. It needed to be a balance.
Yeah. But you gotta understand. You gotta understand. Today, it's niggas that like literally crack the microphone, and because they heard Jay-Z say that he doesn't write on paper, they think that means, listen, baby, I'm looking good, go to the club, buy some racks, spend some racks, and say anything. No. Jay-Z goes in the booth and he sits there and he contemplates. I've seen him do it. That's my man. He sits there and he contemplates. Then he goes, play the shit. And he says one line and he stops. Then he says, play it again. And he's just sitting there for like 5-10 minutes. And he'll think of it.
That's how he does it? Okay.
He just doesn't physically write it on paper. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's writing it, but he's writing it on the tape, because he's saying it as he's writing.
He's punching himself in.
But these kids of today are taking it a different way. They're just saying bullshit on the mic. The shit that don't make no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? But like I said though, I don't want to appear like I'm hating, because it's selling like a motherfucker. Look at Drake, this nigga. But I mean, he says some shit though. But they got, look at Young Thug. Young Thug, what the fuck is he saying? You know what I'm saying? But he fucking sells millions of records. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a market for it.
So the second question I was thinking of, let me get a Fat Boy story. I got a Houdini story, a Run DMC story. Let me get a Fat Boy story. A good one.
Fat Boy story. Okay, I got one for you. All right, so this was when Crush Group came out, right? No, Disorderlies came out. This is when Disorderlies came out. We went to the premiere of Disorderlies, and I remember it was like star-studded that night, man. It was like Eddie Murphy, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, like everybody who was popping that year were there. Like, I have pictures of, all of us together taking pictures, like wilding. And we looked at the movie, like we all watched the movie, and at the end, they gave us a standing ovation, all that shit. Eddie Murphy was cool with us back then, but he's like, you motherfuckers, like, fucking that, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't give us my comedy shit. I don't come in your shit rapping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just bugging out with us. And I look at Kool Rock and he's kind of like straight face. Like, he's not like happy, like, he's just straight face. So I think it was either later that night or the next day. I was like, yo, what the fuck was up with you? Like, why was you? He's like, see how fat I looked in that movie? I think, nigga, you always look like that. You think that's new? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I started ripping on the nigga, you know what I mean? And the nigga got madder and madder, like, you know what I mean? And then, like, maybe like 2 days later, we had to go on a European tour. And we were in Paris. And I came out of my room one morning, and Kool Rock room was next to mine. I went and knocked on his door, and his door was open. And I pushed it open. And imagine the Kool Rock from Disorderlies, big fat Kool Rock, and he's doing sit-ups, and he can't get up. And I started cracking up laughing. That shit was the funniest shit in the world to me. I'm like, nigga, you better stop. Nigga, come eat this cheeseburger, stop fucking playing. Like, yo, let's go. You know what I mean? Nigga, he hasn't stopped doing sit-ups till today, when he started that day. You know what I mean? Wow. He proved my ass wrong like a motherfucker. That nigga lost weight, fucking got healthy, like, became unrecognizable. You know what I mean? Like, And I just had to go tell him, I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I didn't mean to laugh at you, though. Like, I was laughing because I was, you know what I mean? You sitting there, you fat, you trying to do a sit-up. It was kind of funny to me. But looking in hindsight, it's 2020. So I'm looking back at this shit now, and you was onto something. And now look at you, you healthy, muscle, six-pack, all that shit, like looking crazy, you know?
He's six-packing too. I didn't even know, like, damn, like, yo.
I don't know if he's now, but I remember at one point he was like really muscular and everything, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? He was like really in great shape, you know what I mean? And fucked my head up, man. And the table's twisted because then I started getting real fat. And it came to a point where I was 430 pounds.
What?
I look like Jabba the Hutt. Facts.
Damn.
Man.
Facts. And yeah, I was huge, dog, huge. And the reason why I got so big was I didn't do nothing about dieting. Like, I understand dieting so much now. Dieting is a science. It's all things that you eat things that affect your body a certain way. And if you eat them a certain way for a certain amount of time, it changes your body. So for instance, in 1988, I was about 240 pounds. And I wanted to come down to 220. So my idea of dieting was not eating anything for a month and just drink water and have one slice of watermelon a day. Little did I know I was destroying my metabolism, because when you starve yourself, your body starts changing and it starts holding on to everything you eat because it thinks it's not going to get a meal again. You know what I'm saying? So when I would eat something and burn it off quickly, piss, shit, go run, sweat, however you lose calories. Now, because I'm not eating for an entire month, so that 89 came around, I lost 220, 89 came around, and I got into a car accident. And I broke my femur bone, which is like the biggest bone in the human body. It's your thigh bone. It's fucking like this fat. I snapped it in two in a car accident. They had to put these titanium rods in my bone, screws in my knee, all this shit. So I was bedridden for 3 months. So I'm just laying in bed and eating. And my metabolism has changed now. So now everything I eat, I keep. My body keeps it. I literally blew up. Within 3 months, I was 400 pounds. And I was 220 when I first started, when I came out the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And it changed my body forever. I could never like get smaller again until I started really studying it and learning more about the science of eating and all that shit behind it. So I basically just 5 small meals a day. The more frequent you eat, it speeds your metabolism up. Just like if you slow down, it slows your metabolism. If your body knows you're gonna get more food, all right, cool, you can get rid of that energy. We don't need that energy. You got more food coming in a little bit. You know what I mean? Your body learns that way. So 5 small meals a day, no carbs whatsoever, no sugar, just water. So I would go to a wing spot, chicken wing spot, and order 40 wings. As long as they don't have breading on them, I can eat as many as I want, and I'm still gonna lose weight because it's all protein. So what happens is when you deprive your body of sugar, which are carbohydrates, your body burns energy by burning sugar. But once you deprive your body of burning, if you have no more sugar in your body, the secondary source of fuel is stored fat. So it starts burning away all the stored fat. When you do a regular diet, you lose muscle first. But if you eat so much protein, you don't lose no muscle on a low carb diet. So I just did that, and I got down from 430. It took me a year and a half doing it that way because I had a bad knee, so I couldn't really work out. I just do it through eating. I couldn't walk or run or nothing. So it took me a year and a half, but I got down to 320. And then from 320, I started eating regular again. I went back up to 340, and then I started the diet again, and it got me down to 280. And then when the pandemic started, I did it again, and that got me down to 230.
Nice.
That's good. That's good to know because my knees are terrible.
Yeah. You just change the way you eat. Just eat steak,
so weird,
fucking chicken, all that shit.
I eliminate, like, you know what I mean? When I was at work, I would like drink coffee. And that's when I would knowingly put sugar.
I gotta stop doing that. I drink coffee every morning, man.
But I eliminated and it seemed like I eliminated and it seemed like it's harder for me to lose weight now that I just cut out sugar.
Now let me tell you one thing. When you first started to do a low carb diet, you're allowed to intake 20 grams of carbs a day. 20 grams. So that's basically like 2 slices of bread, right? So you can have some sugar in your coffee in the morning, but then you can't touch no more carbs or no more sugar for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So you have to pick what's, and then they got these things they sell in the drugstore. They're called ketosis sticks. And the ketosis sticks, they're for diabetics. You urinate on them. And when they turn a certain color, they'll tell you have no more sugar in your body. So now you know for a fact that you're burning fat now. And within a week, I lost 20 pounds within a week. But it goes so fast. Like, so if you just eat chicken wings, non-breaded chicken wings, steak, shrimp, lobster tail, you can eat all that shit as much as you want. As much as, and you will fucking lose mad weight.
It doesn't matter how you cook it. It doesn't matter if you fry it.
As long as you can fry it, all that shit. All I ask is if you fry it and all, just drink a lot of water. Yeah, no breading. You can't have no breading on it because the breading has carbs.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I used to eat
every day
chicken like that anyway because my mother, I'm Puerto Rican, so we don't bread chicken. You season it up and you fry it. So it was normal for me.
But that rice, man, that rice and that fucking.
Nah, that's the death of you right there. That's it right there.
That rice, that
That's
pasta.
why you was a fat boy.
see, this is the thing. Diet, it's not a diet that you need to get on. If you're trying to lose weight, it's not a diet that you need to get on.
Yeah.
Because the diet is something that's short term. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to tell yourself, like, I don't know how old you guys are, but if you're trying to get healthy, you can't just do it for a certain amount of time. You got to do it forever now, for the rest of your life. Don't eat that bullshit for no more. Drink water. All I do is drink water round the clock. I don't drink nothing else but water. But I'm blessed enough to love water. Like, I go bananas over water. You know what I mean? I feed for it. Like, I'm like, water, I need water.
When it's cold. Like,
freezing cold. I got to be cold. Got to be freezing cold.
I'm actually at
That's
the
the best.
I think I'm the same age as you, so I know what you're saying. Like, for real.
Yeah. We all about the same age. Bro.
Yeah, I'm 51.
Oh, you got me beat. But I'm gonna be close in November.
Almost.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, but yeah, so it's crazy. Yeah, but that's what the people, you know what I mean? I needed that fat boy story. Okay, one more. I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna get a story about Buffy. Rest in peace to Buffy. We need a story about Buffy, you know what I mean, for his legacy.
When I got kicked out of the Fat Boys, we had just signed a publishing deal. And there was another deal that was set up through him, through our manager again. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we had to deal with our manager. And the way we signed the deal with our manager is they had to deliver the money by a certain date, which is like 2 years out. But the time manager, she's gonna give us the money on a monthly basis. You know what I'm saying? Here, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. Next month, 100,000, 100,000. I mean, for 2 years. So.
Oh, nice.
So when I got kicked out of the group, he stopped. I needed my money. Like, you know what I mean? Like a summer went by. I went through what I had. I didn't have no more bread. I'm spending money crazy. But I had like 7 cars. I'm wilding. Like, you know what I mean? I never had money before. So nobody told me what to do with money. I got to try to teach myself. So I'm owed money. You know what I mean? I'm owed $2 million. You feel me? But he's like, I'm not giving it to you until I have to give it to you. Fuck that. Really? So it took everything and everything to stop me from doing some harm to him, like, really. But one day I'm home, I'm sitting there, and it's me and my boy Corey that we do music together, and it's me and him. We broke as fuck. And I remember that day, like, we look at each other like, nigga, what the fuck we gonna eat? Like, you know what I mean? And I walked to the refrigerator, and I opened the refrigerator, and there was one piece of chicken in there, a chicken wing. We fried that bitch up and split it. You know what I mean? It was one of the best chicken wings we ever had. As we finished that fucking chicken wing, there's a knock at my door. Buff walks in with a fucking big-ass bucket of chicken, right? Mashed potatoes, biscuits, mad shit, and an envelope with $30,000 in it. Gives it to me. I look at Buff, I'm like, I love you, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he was just so open, kind-hearted, open. Like, he knew what was happening, and he just couldn't sit there and see me suffer. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't even ask for it back. He just gave it to me. Gave me $30,000 and brought some food for us. And like, that's my nigga. It's like, you know what I mean? That's why to the day he passed, man. Harlem, what are you doing? From the day he passed, like, that's my man. I love him, forever. He was just such a good guy, Him and Kool Rock, both of them, good dudes, man.
He passed away from a heart attack, or how did he pass away?
He passed away on accident, actually. Buff was, like I said, 5'4", but at the time of his passing, he was about 750 pounds. He was really big.
He was like
And
one size then. Like,
he needed to have gastric bypass surgery, and he would have been all right. But the problem is, when you're really, really, really big, you have to lose weight even before you have gastric bypass surgery. So he's 750. He has to come down to 500 in order to have the surgery. So I'm on the phone with him that night, and he's really depressed, and he's telling me, he's going through a lot of personal things, and he's telling me, he's just fed up. He don't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, at this time, I have my deal with Sony. I sign who I want. I got money. I can pull from any account, do whatever I want to do. So I'm on the phone with him. It's Saturday night. The Apollo just came on. It was 11 o'clock at night. And we talked for about an hour. And my conversation with him was, Buff, chill the fuck out. Lose the weight, have the surgery. And when you're done with the surgery, I'll sign Fat Boys to Soul Convention. And we'll tour. We'll do an album and we'll tour. And we'll go out and get some fucking money. Let's go. And he was so happy to hear that shit. Like, you know what I mean? He was just, I could hear it in his voice. It's like, all right. And right before him, the nigga said, I love you. You know what I mean? And he never really told me that. It was crazy that he said that. And I just brushed it off. Like, yeah, love you too, nigga. Like, click. And I hung up. About 2 hours later, my mother calls me. And she goes, Mark, Ella just called me. That's Buff's mother. Ella just called me and said Buff fell and he's not breathing. Go over there right now. So I'm like, huh? So I hung up the phone. I jumped in my car. I picked up Corey. Corey lived like right down the block from me. We had just bought 2 ill-ass cribs in Long Island. Picked up Corey and we drove out there. And when we got there, he was already dead. He had died already. So what happened was, Buff was so big, he couldn't lay down to sleep. He had too much weight on him. So if he laid down, it would cut off his air supply. He couldn't breathe. So basically, he had to sleep like on his knees on a couch. Like if you're facing a couch, I'm looking straight at the couch is flat and it goes like this where you put your back. Yeah. So he would throw his knees on it, put his face against the wall and watch TV and he'd fall asleep. So like that. He was there when I was talking to him on the phone. And then after he hung up, he asked his brother to move him to a stool in front of the TV, And his brother helped him walk to the stool and he sat him down and he walked away. And as he walked away, he wasn't centered properly on the stool and he slid off of it and fell. And when he fell, his brother couldn't get him up and he's on his back. He can't breathe and threw his heart into overdrive and he had a heart attack that way. If he would have never fell, he would have never died. He could have lost the weight, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Shit happens, man. I'm not saying that, shit happens in a bad way, but I'm just saying, life throws curveballs at you. Life sets up obstacles in your path, He was a great dude, loved him to death, did amazing things. He taught the world, he brought happiness to the world through his music, you know what I mean? And everybody remembers him. Everybody, dog. Every time they show me love, they always mention R.I.P. Buck, And they didn't even know him,
Real, for real.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man, that was 25 years ago, right?
I want to say 95 and 96.
95.
Yeah. That's crazy. And he was like Pun. Pun was like that big, I believe, too. And I'm not salute to Pun because Puerto Rican rapper, too. You know what I mean? So, like,
yeah. But Pun was tall. You know what I'm saying? So
when I met him, I didn't remember him being that tall.
I mean, at least 6 feet. He's at least 6 foot.
I remember my man tried to hug him, and he couldn't touch his hands behind him, and he hugged him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't mean he's too tall, but he's at least 6 foot. Buff was 5'4", like shorty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he must have been like really wide and shit. Like
yeah.
You couldn't like be in a regular car, so you had to put him in a whole back seat or something.
No, he got in the car. Yeah.
750, a lot of pounds.
Bad cars.
Over 750s a lot.
They're mad cars.
Shit.
Hey guys, my battery's about to die on my phone.
All right, no, brother, man. We appreciate it, man. It's cool. We hitting like 2 hours and some change. But yo,
we appreciate you,
so if you want to talk a little more,
absolutely.
That's cool.
All right, no, we can talk for a few more minutes. If you cut off, we'll just end it right after cut off. But no,
I'm at 8%, so I got a few more minutes.
Yeah, man, it'd be cool if Roski would have came in. But we got, you know what I mean? What I want to do, next one, because, we did cool. Maybe we could get y'all and try to get Houdini on the same shit at the same time and shit, because you guys probably got stories together and shit.
Off the record, just between us, Jalil and Ecstasy, they're beefing right now with Grandmaster D. So if you get Houdini, it's probably just going to be.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
some shit going on. I
Oh.
tried to cuss all of them out to get them straightened out. They're like girls right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Everything take time, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to get Grandmaster D's. I was trying to get Grandmaster D and the DJ segment with Cash Money and, you know what I mean? And them dudes, like, somehow they don't respond to shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to get y'all on Instagram than on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
Yeah.
'Cause, it's just
If you
fun.
see me on, holler at me while I'm on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I hardly check my DMs. I really don't. You know?
Well, no, I'm gonna get the dot, and I'll just text you for some future shit. You know, make it easier. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. It would have been dope to Cool Roski. I hope he's all right because he said he couldn't.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he
Okay.
just when he responded to my message.
I know the situation. He's just dealing with some technical stuff.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's good. He's good.
But I want to get y'all together. You know what I mean on something. You know what I mean in the future. You
Yeah.
know, now we have y'all separate. You know what I mean, and you alone said a whole lot more than us having 5 people that was in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you said a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And then people are gonna look and they're like, "Oh shit, Prince!" Because my one show, the show before the last show, we had Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd and Markie Dee, and people was like, kids like,
That's
who's
dope.
they're like, who's that? People, you know what I mean? Kids like they don't see the numbers high with that shit because
Right.
nobody really knows. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
You got a lot of good people, but you know what I'm saying? The views don't be crazy high.
but those are the private people that I would look at. I mean, that dude Jay Quan, you know Jay Quan, like he does these shows where he does you know what I mean? Like I just saw he just did one with Just Ice. I'm like, damn, I gotta get a hold of Just Ice because I want to find Mantronic. I want to interview Mantronic. You know what I mean? Like,
Shit, super Casanova Run and Super Lover Z 1 or 2. I'll pump it up. I
Yeah.
love them niggas,
Yep.
boy.
Yeah.
the
Yes,
James
sir.
Hell
too,
yeah.
dude. The James, like yo, that shit.
Hell yeah.
You know that record was big in the house parties and all that shit. Do the James,
Dude,
Absolutely.
Hell fucking yeah.
Paul C and all that shit. Like yo,
Yep.
but that's
So,
all-
so Markie Dee, what would be like the steps to suggest, like for Sirius, like to even get a show on Sirius? How do you have to go about it or be noticed like that?
First off, you have to do your research as far as who needs someone. You know, like what channel? Like, does Hip Hop Nation have somebody on at night? Do they have somebody on mornings? And if you listen and do your research, if there's nobody on overnights, meet with the program director. Try to take the overnight spot. You know, tell them you got an idea for a show. You know, you can be successful. Build. You know, use your connections to get at those programs. The crazy thing is that the guy, Harlem, stop that, baby. Give me that. Give me that. The guy that does who's executive vice president of Urban for Sirius is the guy that hired me in my first radio gig, Deion Summers. So it's like I started, you know, in Celestial Radio with this guy, and now I'm doing satellite radio. And the difference is when I did afternoons and mornings in Miami, the average amount of listeners was 400,000 people at one time listening, right?
that's a lot.
Satellite radio, it's 7 million people listening to the show that I'm on.
That's crazy. Yo. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So we had a radio show out here at College Radio. We had a big following. When MySpace days, we had like 87,000 people on that. You know what I mean? On radio.
That's dope.
College. But then
That's dope.
we stopped and we, because I got kicked off because a different show was playing
Politics.
curses. A different show was playing curses, and they fucking said, "Well, the Fire Set's playing curses too." Without them checking, they kicked me off. And like you said, like about getting kicked out of the group. Later on, they try to have me come back, and I'm like, "Man, fuck you! You kicked us out and didn't even give us an opportunity."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come back. You know what I mean? But the main dude that got me on, I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming these other. You know what I mean? The politics bullshit. You know what I mean? And we had a big fun. That's why I think Rocko said to you how we get on the satellite radio. We have no contact to show. You know what I mean? We had shows and we did interviews and you know what I mean? This right here, we do the producer's corner and we do these behind the boards. We just started like saying this is the 17th episode. And we ain't even getting in the thousands in the views, but we reaching. We realize as the time goes on, people start paying attention and find out about it.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Just a bit of advice, all right? And I was telling somebody this shit yesterday too. There's no greater job to have than to do something that you love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's nothing better than to own your own business. You know what I'm saying? Because when I worked in radio, they're paying me $250,000 a year, right? You know how much the radio station is making? $30 million a year. The one station.
Yeah.
This building, Clear Channel, iHeart Radio, has 7 radio stations in it. We're the black station. We're making the less out of every station in there. The Y100 station, which is like the Z100 of Miami, they're making $60,000 a year. I mean, $60 million a year. You feel me? So I'm the one that's the face of this movement at 103.5 The Beat, but they're giving me $250,000, and these niggas is making $30 million.
That's
Like who's
crazy.
getting?
Yeah,
So, yo, stick to that shit, dog. Stick to it. Like I've seen people who have done YouTube for 3 years and be in the thousands, and just all of a sudden, fucking take off.
Take off.
You know what I'm saying? It happens,
That's what
man.
he's saying.
And this business is all about building companies and selling them. You know what I'm saying? You want to this shit you got right here that y'all doing right here? You want to sell this shit in 6 years for 20 million. You know what I mean? 50 million. You want to sell it to Revolt or Viacom for fucking 50 million or some shit. You know? That's the plan. That's what you're supposed to be thinking all along. Build this shit. One person at a time.
With Rockefeller, they said the same thing. Like,
One person at a time, dog. Don't run. You know what I mean? Just because you got 20 listeners 1 week and 30, that's fucking good. You're growing. That means you're growing. You feel me?
And
Nothing
content
happens.
is key.
Yeah, everything takes work, man. It takes work. Nothing's gonna come easy. You feel me? But if you feel like you dedicate to this shit, you could do it, dog. I'm telling you. I could build this shit into a fucking conglomerate, you know? And when y'all sell this shit for $1 billion, you'll be like, yo, Mark, because you took care of me, here's a Ferrari.
Oh, no. Of course.
No doubt.
Because y'all niggas, because you told you for that conversation that day. Remember? Yeah, the Ferrari. Yeah, you good.
Gems. Gems, baby.
Yeah, what color you
Long
want?
way.
White,
You know-
nigga,
you
white.
know,
Let's go.
You don't ever come back up to the East Coast? You always stay down south?
No, I go up all the holidays.
Your
My
mom's
family's up there. Yeah, my mother, my brother, my nephews, all that.
And you gotta let us know when this COVID shit is over with. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I need some tippers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when the COVID shit is over, I need to come down here. I got the strippers. Nigga. What you talking about? Me go up there.
I'll go Sparkz.
Sounds like a plan.
We was down there. Where was we at Sparkz when we did the thing last year? Where was
We was
it?
Jacksonville, man.
Yeah,
Jacksonville,
we did our 2-year anniversary for the Producers Corner in Jacksonville at somebody's house. It was dope. You know what I mean? But that was the only time I've been to Florida. I mean, I've been to Switzerland and Paris, and I've been to Amsterdam like that, but I never really been anywhere else.
Nah, you didn't come down to Miami. You haven't seen Miami yet. That's
I've been to Miami.
Miami.
I've been in Fort Lauderdale. Sorry, to cut you off. Stress. Fort Lauderdale. Quick trip to Miami, and I did Orlando and Kissimmee and all that.
all right.
Thurston
No,
Howell.
that's not Miami.
Thurston Howell told me to
No,
go.
I know it's not Miami.
Come out here.
Miami is a
He's
whole
old lady.
man.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal.
Yo, Mark, when I stayed in Fort Lauderdale, me and my wife, we went to Miami. I had on
I just
hard bottom,
Just to have a good time.
fucking dress shirt, walking the strip. That shit was crazy. My feet was hurting.
Yeah. Miami's a total different beast, dog.
I was like, I will never do that shit again, man.
So it's like Brooklyn is its own planet. It's the
Exactly.
same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But I heard Miami's gangster too. There'd be some crazy shit going on out there at the same
Yeah,
time.
the other side of the bridge. Not in South Beach.
No.
South Beach is yeah.
Well,
that's where everybody parties.
you gotta have Prince Markie Dee money to fucking live in South Beach and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
where I live too. So.
I guarantee you that fucking whatever you're paying a month is not cheap and shit. Whatever.
Nah, not.
Well, yeah, we can stand here, but I'm gonna end the recording part. Yo,
Okay.
Yo, I appreciate you, man.
Yo, before we go, if you want to drop your social medias and let everyone
let the people know the radio show and everything. Hopefully that they put you on another show on there when Biz come back. You know what I mean? Like for real.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Well, the show is Rock the Bells Radio Channel 43, Sirius XM. They have a a 4-month free trial going on right now, so you can get on that, get that shit for. And anyway, it's $10 a month, so even if it's not free, fucking $10, pay $10. Come check me out.
Hey.
Yeah, channel 43. I'm on every day from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with Jess Janelle, and it's a great show. It's really dope. We have a lot of fun on there, talk a lot of shit, you know, and play some great music, you know. Yeah. And you can play we play great music, man. Support, you know, like the artists that paved the way, you know. And that you want to support them, that's how you can support them. And I'm on IG and Twitter at Prince Markie Dee.
Right.
So
I'm following you. I remember like way back in the day, I thought you was following me, and then you unfollowed me, Markie Dee, and I was like, this month.
On what, Twitter?
Yeah.
You know what? My Twitter, you know, I don't know why, but my Twitter I follow a motherfucker, and then I look at it again, and it should be unfollowed. I'm like, I don't even do this shit. Like, should be randomly unfollowing motherfuckers on its own. Stop.
I wasn't disgruntled. I wasn't disgruntled, and nothing. I'm still.
I'll make sure I follow you as soon as I get off here.